good morning or good afternoon or good evening if you're watching our current episode. And it's a great Saturday morning. It's bright, it's sunny. It's always great to be back on set. Today being Valentine's Day, I will definitely be giving roses to my guests, and I'm fortunate to have 50% of my guests today are amazing women who I will be introducing, and a great gentleman.
Thank you.
And today's conversation is around survival versus creation. Innovation under siege. What happens when you build, when you innovate, but at the same time you feel you can't scale because there are barriers, there are predatory ecosystem players, whether capital or players who are not innovating fast enough, or even yourself, your mindset in terms of knowing how to jump to the next level, or even knowing when you're moving from, it's an innovation that needs to be monetized. So today's conversation is around exploring those fundamentals in our growth as founders. But at the same time, is also understanding our inner journeys and the turmoils we go through when this happens. With me on set, I've got amazing people who will have some intimate conversations around their personal journeys, but also their company journeys, and also industry conversations, because innovation is not something you do internally. It also involves an external ecosystem. It's also involved for you to think beyond yourself, but in a much larger realm of community and even continent, if need be, even at a global level, as we look at. So it's somebody mentioned to me, a great person I was with having breakfast, and she mentioned to me, look, Mike, as you're arriving here, she said, there are gifts and there's talent. And she said, look, do you differentiate gifts and talent, or do you combine them? When are you gifted? When are you talented? And when do you bring it together? So that, to me, is going to be an interesting conversation for us today. Amazing people. So gift, talent, when do you combine gift and talent? And we're going to also dive a little bit spiritually on, sometimes they say innovation also has to come from the gift, and also spiritual awakening for you to really build a great product, right? We'll come to that. Let's not, but to start introductions, I'll go clockwise, and I'll try and start with Dr. Joyce Gikunda. She is an amazing person. I know her family. I know her, but I finally got to meet her here. Joyce, I got finally to meet you, but yes. I know your son. I know your children. Funny enough. And today I meet you.
Small.
Last week I was even talking to your son, funny enough, or the night, something else.
Yes.
And today here we are. And finally I've met you. I met you, I think a month, 2 months ago at an event.
Yeah.
And here we are. So Dr. Joyce Gikunda, just quickly say hello. Then I will get back to getting people to introduce themselves. Just quickly say hello, Dr. Joyce.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Really a pleasure to be here. My name is Dr. Joyce Gikunda, as you've heard. And I'm a pharmacist. I'm an entrepreneur in the beauty industry. I'm excited to be here. It's taken us quite a bit of time. It's a journey. But I just want to compliment Mike for encouraging me to be here this morning. Thank you.
Wow. It has been a journey, and thank you. But I also want to thank you. Sometimes some people are still coming. There are people who we have got 6 months, 7 months in discussion. I'm still coming. I tell you, my friend, come. Anyway, we'll get there.
It's not easy. It's not easy when it's not. We are not like Mike. We are not like George, who are media people.
We are not media people. It's just that life pushes us by force, by fire, to be in media. You wake up in the morning and you say, "Why am I trending?"
You make some of us feel like they're under siege.
We'll see. You're not under siege. It's gonna be very fulfilling, and you'll tell me as we go along.
Okay.
Next with me is Lucy Rao. Lucy is a phenomenal person who I met 20, I don't want to say 20, 26. I was young and he was young and we all had ambition to build, and we set up a group. We call it EDG. We're going to be investors in ideas. Yes. EDG is still EDG. It's still EDG in a WhatsApp group. And I said this EDG should have moved from in a WhatsApp group to investment. I remember my first company, the same EDG guys, I told them, see, invest in my business.
Sure.
Same EDG people in the same group.
Sure.
I told them I have an idea. Yeah. I gave them a business plan. I circulated it on email, but they never invested. My first investor was James Gashui, the late James Gashui. So basically think about James Gashui here, EDG here. James Gashui took, I went with the plan.
My friend Ruth was on that group.
Ruth and Lucy and Co. did not even move, right? So I want to bring Lucy back here to the conversation. I'm happy to have Lucy here. So Lucy, over to you.
Yes, my name is Lucy Rao. Michael, thank you very much for that introduction.
By fire.
Yes, EDG was there, it's still there, but we did move.
Okay.
We did move a little bit, but I think you are taking us a bit too fast. You're very fast-paced, so you are not explaining things at our pace. It was really as simple as that. And where money is involved, you need to check and counter-check, or else, you know, it grows wings and you can't get it. Yeah. So I studied agricultural engineering. Yeah. So I'm an agricultural engineer by training from Egerton. I did fashion in a technical school. So fashion, my specialty is textiles and fashion, especially the technical part of fashion. I understand it very well. And now I have Rialto Fashions, which is a fashion house that I founded. Nowadays, when I was founding it, I didn't know that they would be called brand at some point. So the word brand found me when Rialto was quite old. So Rialto is a brand. And apart from just working in my own company, I realized that you can't really go very far when you're solo. Yeah, so you need to get some like-minded people together, and you need to come together and look at your problems together and see how far you can go with getting solutions to these problems as a team. So Fashion Council came up, and we founded it. Yeah, but shortly before that, I had this dream of getting Kenyan fabric, made in Kenya, grown in Kenya, so that when we talk about Kenyan clothes, we are talking about something which is produced in Kenya from A to Z. So Pamba Mali was born, and it is it's an organization which helps farmers in Nyando to grow cotton and grow it organically. And we are able to trace where the cotton comes from and how it's processed, and make it into something which is people can see on the catwalk and relate with and call it really Kenyan. That was a dream, and it's still going on.
Wow, the last time I was in I have not been to fashion events or runways for many years, but then the last time I did it was November 22nd. And I remember because my son was also having an event somewhere, and I remember seeing you on that runway. And for whatever reason, on that day, somebody had invited me last minute. I just said to go. I said, what am I doing this Saturday afternoon? I went evening. And then who was I sitting next to? Joyce.
Fate.
Imagine sitting next to Joyce. I said, hey, I've been looking for you. To come to my show. Joyce.
Please come.
And then next thing, I'm seeing this runway, and then I see Rialto Fashion. And I say, wow. Think about the odds in that. And today we are here exactly, I think, maybe less than 2 months.
So that's how we happen to be combined with Lucy.
No, I'll come to how we combine. It's serendipity, how everything comes together. And that's why I want to bring George. George Gachara. George was referred to me by a good friend of mine, and when I was trying to do another I was trying to host another podcast, and they said, I think George would do well here, but George, as I say, time is time. Time has its moment of meeting.
Sure.
And George Gachara, I've looked at what you do, and in your both as an entrepreneur,
Sure.
and on the other feet, you're also a banker. Sure. Let's say you're a banker. So you'll explain yourself.
Fair.
And why you're in an industry like this, which is creative and funding creative,
Sure.
is fascinating.
Sure.
Yeah, so that will be an interesting conversation, because I saw you over breakfast. You engaging my son, who is in entertainment or event management, and
Sure.
I could see you guys are talking about funding events.
Sure.
So it's interesting. You guys ended up in your own corner discussing certain conversations. So
Sure.
George, maybe you could tell us, and then we can then pivot into our next conversation.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to also sit alongside colleagues and people I have a lot of respect for. And to also enjoy Valentine's, speaking about the things that we do that we are passionate about. How I introduce myself really is that I'm a curious human being. I'm a leader. I'm currently fascinated about how capital moves, how capital speaks. And for the last decade, I've been trying to move capital towards the things that I care about. My background is in communication and international studies, so I was hoping to be a journalist, and then I was also persuaded to be a diplomat, and then I met artists. And then I've camped at the artistic expression for more than a decade and a half. Wow. I started a production company that became one of Kenya's most successful production companies, premiering films in Toronto, Berlinale, IFFR in Rotterdam, Cannes. I still have some medals at home. But you would go for a red carpet event and come back to a demanding landlord. And the asymmetry of being on the first page of the newspaper, having won a red carpet event and not being able to honor your
being evicted.
your commitments, rental commitments, really was the bane of my existence and that of my colleagues at the time, because everyone thought we'd made it. And I think a challenge one day was, why don't we put our money that we've earned into the sector that we so loved and benefited from? And so the journey has been that I started together with my friends a company called Hever Fund, from zero BOP to 1 billion shillings of investment when I resigned 3 years ago as the CEO. And now I stayed on to do strategy, to support the team, and we've moved to more than 4 billion worth of investments in this ecosystem. And that opened up the world for me. So because of that, I've been able to advise other institutions, whether they're banking institutions or state or private companies that are trying to create strategies around creative industries, how to monetize it, how to secure their investments, how to get a return, and so on and so forth. And so that's been a bit of my introduction, and I'm really happy to be here.
Wow, what a journey. Oh my.
Thank you.
We'll discuss, that is such an interesting conversation, how you start, how you cottage, how you, an idea and lack of capital makes you pivot. It's really the story you're talking about. But before even we do that, I'd like to see how we can honor our guests with Happy Valentine.
Oh, thank you so
Sorry.
much. Happy
Happy
Valentine,
Valentine.
too.
Thank you.
Valentine.
To Lucy, and maybe you can pass.
Happy
I will
Valentine.
enjoy
you
your
can
flowers.
see Happy Valentine. Happy Valentine to our businesses and to our
Yes,
ambition.
happy,
to our
happy
ambition.
Valentine.
And
Thank
to,
you.
and to our audience. Is that
Thank
correct?
you. Thank you for
Thanks.
being very
welcome,
thoughtful.
welcome.
Yes.
Asante
Yeah.
sana. So, I want to start with something that had just happened to me this week. And I have a group of people we meet. We've grown up together, or we've met from a time we were younger. And maybe from 13, and we've kept the conversation going. And this time around, we decided to meet. And we asked ourselves one question, which I'd like us to try, because I think there's a very near connection to being spiritually aware and driving almost innovation to some extent. It's like your heart tells you, you almost believe something. So the question I would like to pose to you, which is a very personal question, but it's a very enlightening question to many people. If God or Allah, or whoever is your supreme being, was seated to you, the way Lucy, Dr. Joyce is seated to you, or George, the way Lucy is seated to you, and me, the way Joyce is seated to me, both in being, let's assume in being, because somebody asked this question earlier in the morning, told me, yeah, I can't answer that question, but my assumption is God is next to me, physically. So I'm assuming that He's next to you physically to make it even easier. And told you, make a demand. What would that be?
Oh, that's
I want to see how that connects to what you currently do.
Yeah, that's, to me, if I may start off.
Please.
I'm starting off because it's really your question I say to the core of my heart and my belief. For me, God is not just sitting next to me. He is actually in me.
Sure.
And I'm proud to be in this dispensation of having God in my heart. And when I wake up in the morning, I try to imagine there is this being, my God, the Creator, actually in my heart. Then greatness starts from there. I know that He's the one who has made me have dreams, have visions. He's the one who connects me with the relevant people. Like today here is not a mistake to be here, Mike. It's not a mistake to have Ruth seated next to me. We met many years back. We've done work together. And now you're bringing us back together. It's not a coincidence. It is that spirit being. And I love the idea you are starting there. I would not be here if it were not for Him. Because my time is way back, when I would not have said, yes, I went to the uni, I studied pharmacy as a profession. But pharmacy was to study how to dispense drugs, how to do research in a lab and say this is how this works or this is how this is made. It wasn't really to train me or to coach me to be an entrepreneur. So how do I happen to sit here as an entrepreneur? It is because this being put something in me that I wouldn't understand. And I can't understand even what will happen 10 years or 5 years to come. No. I just get it moment by moment. So I didn't have the capability of writing a business plan. Like maybe my friend Jojo. No business plan. It's a dream, a passion that you don't know where it is coming from, but now I know. Being more religious, now I know where it comes from. And it drives me. It drives me to do what the dream tells me to do on day-to-day basis. And this is to do, like for me, the business of beauty. I wasn't taught by anyone. I actually connected the pharmacy training with the need that arose. When we started a family business, which was Linton's Pharmacy, at the pharmacy, God was opening my eyes to the need of the people. The need of the people, because God tells us to serve humankind as we love him. That's how we express his love, by serving humankind. So as I'm counting tablets there, as I'm attending to this client who comes there unwell, my eyes were always drawn to their skin. How is their skin? Even if you didn't come telling me that your daughter has got rashes or this and that. I would also be drawn to the fact that this client has come with an empty tube of a steroidal cream that they were prescribed some times back. And from my training, I know they are not supposed to be continually using this steroidal cream. So it is that purpose of doing the right thing, saying the right thing, training the right thing, that actually led one thing to the other to come up with solutions to advise, to start training these people. Don't use these creams. So advocacy for counterfeits, advocacy for wrong use of products began from them without going to school. So maybe, that being, giving me the dream, propelling me to do the right thing, not to take shortcuts on day-to-day basis, actually brings me here.
Wow. It's amazing, because now going back to your intro, Dr. Gikunda, now you can see it from a helicopter. Linton's Beauty, Linton's Pharmacy, Linton's Foundation, okay, Linton's Academy. You see the value chain of your being, as you say, if in it, you never said, I'm going to, because the question I'm going to ask next, since you told me you're going to, you're giving me your dream, what you said, me, I'm already in the dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
God is with me every day.
Yes.
Your being, you've said your spiritual being. And for that spiritual being, it is got into that ecosystem. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you've
Yes.
merged your skill talent with your what you call your gift.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And here we are
Yes.
with Linton's. Now we're
Yeah.
going to go down that pathway very, very soon, in very depth.
Yes.
And I leave it now to Lucy and George.
Yeah.
Sure.
Think about the same way. You see, very interesting. And also come to me as an entrepreneur. Just to give you a little bit, sometimes I look at my audience when they're giving feedback.
Sure.
Sometimes I think I forget sometimes to introduce myself. Sure. And to be honest, I find it very interesting. I even just jumped, I forgot to introduce myself. I forgot to say I'm Michael Masharia. Yeah. I'm the host.
Yes.
And I'm not just the host, I'm also an entrepreneur
Yeah.
who has been in the streets for 25 years,
Sure.
blah, blah, blah. So the other day somebody was trying to say, but this host,
Yes.
what they forget is I'm not a host because I want to be a host. I'm a host because I want to tell our story from being in the jungle, being in the arena.
Sure.
So just to tell the audience, I'm not just here as a host, and I didn't learn how to be a host. I personally here to share my journey with other entrepreneurs
Sure.
in a more broader area. I'm also going to come into that conversation in terms of how spirituality we got here. So Lucy, George.
Well, I think I will look at it a little bit more philosophically, and I would say that in my own experience, the creative power of God, I've experienced it when I work with young people or even old people who are compelled by an idea, so reenacted by that idea, they can see it, and then it becomes a product after a little bit of scaffolding. At the beginning of my career, the collective that I was part of was the incubation for this God power, and I'll just call it God power. A certain Jim Chuchu would come and say, I wish we would be able to create a film that in the course of exhibiting the film, the audience would participate in creating what the next characters would do. Can we break this model of the film so that the audience engage in the future of this story? And then we would try and create a script that is shot in a in an interesting way that by the time we put an episode, we collect feedback. And then what happened is that we created Kenya's first public crowdsourced series, which, in my opinion, that is the creative power of God at work. There are people in the economy who are more sensitive to that power than others. So the artists, the thinkers, the doers, the poets, and those are the people I've been working with for the first part of my career, that are sensitive to a conversation, they are sensitive to an aesthetic, they are sensitive to a fabric, they are sensitive to an expression. But in other societies, there is institutions that call it art, they call it a gallery, they call it an atelier, they call it a fashion product. But in our society, that person who is sensitive to that thing has to find the expression and be comfortable with it and demand of it, because that expression requires that you create skills, that you create aesthetics, but also create the institution to deliver it and understand the market in which that thing operates. And so my passion has always been to hang out with people who have this sensitivity so that I can create the scaffolding that allows this sensitivity to become a product. So early in my journey, we had a fashion brand. We had a retail distribution network before Jumia. We had an online television program and a radio channel that we used to, I know the regulators will hear this, we used to broadcast without licenses. And in this making, then we start to realize that the creative power of God is always at play, and it visits entrepreneurs, thinkers, doers, people who have to imagine it and birth it. In my own journey, I like complex questions. I like the chaos of things, because I think the chaos of things is where opportunity, especially in Africa, in Kenya, comes from. When the market is disorganized, then there's an opportunity for you to bring something. And so I've always trusted that sense that there's something I can do about this type of chaos. So while the artists are responding to theirs, I am also responding to a thing where I feel I can do something about a distribution chain that's broken, or a financing chain that's been broken. I can translate this idea to this person and make a solution. And so I feel my spiritual journey has always been, if there is a question that I cannot escape from, that stays with me, if I try and use the tools that I have and the integrity, for me it's the integrity of that question, then I can deliver something. And so I know that you said in the briefing that we shouldn't speak strategies, but then you've brought out like a philosophical thing. So how does Hiva then become, how does God manifest to me through Hiva? I try to get a mortgage from my banker, and my banker asks me for all this proof that I deserve money. And then I realize that is so frustrating for me, and I already have some sort of money. So how then do I make that simple for someone who comes to me? So my integrity is that the process for Hiva does not humiliate the person who is applying, and it treats the idea as sacred. That's how I would answer that.
Wow.
I think it deserves some accolades, some claps. Look,
Yeah.
just listen to that.
The claps,
Yeah.
you know when you're on set, what you do?
Sure.
What do you do?
When you're on set, what I found, we don't even clap. We just
Hear
it's
it.
okay to clap. We just it should give you the sugar
Sure.
for your next response.
Yeah.
It's about building momentum
Sure.
on other people's clarity.
Sure.
Sure. So for me, my take is that as Hiva fan, and in your journey of creativity,
Sure.
in your journey of looking at people's scaffolding and all that journey, You're looking at people trying to give birth into a product and the complexity and the creativity. But then there's no oil that makes it easy, which is capital.
Sure.
So in it, River Fund was born. Is that correct?
True.
But you cannot do that if you have not immersed yourself in that journey.
Sure.
Because even allocating capital to somebody you know their balance sheet or P&L is not balancing,
Sure.
okay,
Sure.
also needs you to be very spiritually aware that I can bet on this person.
Sure.
And that's why you bet on the founder
Sure.
and not sometimes of the product.
Yeah. I just wanted to comment about something crucial, powerful you said, about the chaos.
Chaos again.
How could the chaos you find, your eyes are open to some chaotic thing.
Sure.
That drives you. And to hand on to what I said earlier, Linton's Beauty World was actually born out of chaos.
Sure.
Because in this pharmacy now situation, I have to give solutions.
Sure.
And there are no products, beauty products, that I can use to. I'm just given pharmaceutical products.
Sure.
So I have to think outside the box to imagine what else, where can I get them from?
Sure.
We did not have supermarkets at all.
Sure.
Those were the 80s. We did not have beauty shops in this country. We depended, the knowledge we had, we depended on some magazines,
Sure.
old magazines that would come from USA
Sure.
to tell us about products like Neutrogena, Simple,
Sure.
anything beauty that you could actually divert attention from steroid or pharmaceutical products that damage the skin.
Sure.
So that chaos is what drove me to be a founder of the beauty in Kenya. So I wanted to connect it with
Yes.
what John just said, because chaos is speaking something great to
He
us.
has also said something very, very important that I don't want us to lose. You know,
Yeah.
that how he said something about how money moves.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was studying how the money moves and what the effects are of that money
Yeah.
as it moves. You know, that is also
Powerful.
quite powerful, because, you know, they say money makes the world go round. Now, in the middle of all this chaos, that's quote unquote.
Sure.
By the way, do creatives call it, look at it as chaos? Yeah, you know, a creative space, for it to be creative,
Sure.
it has to be chaos.
Sure.
You can't have
It
an
can't be
organized
neat.
creative. That is
Yeah.
somebody, that's a doctor, or maybe somebody else, or a clinical psychologist or something. But, you know, creativity has to start from some form of chaos. We
Yes.
all agree
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
yeah, we.
Yeah. So I think I quite relate with that, and I'm happy that there's a channel for understanding those of us who are creative, who just move. You've said the God is inside you.
Yeah.
Yours is also
I don't mind
pushing
the
you
Lord.
outside. Yeah, pushing you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think my God just tells me do this and I move, you know? So I'm not sure where exactly he is. But when he says go,
Sure.
I do it. And sometimes it doesn't make sense in the beginning. It doesn't make sense. Like, why exactly? For example, why am I here? You know?
Yeah.
How you
What
just get
for?
that feeling that
What are
go.
you supposed to,
You know?
to impact? How are you supposed to impact?
Somehow
that.
you move and you know, the answer follows you.
Sure.
So
Sure.
there's scripture which says, you know, you need to move when the voice of God calls. So I think that has been my journey, because when you do engineering, and then you work as a civil servant, and then your side hustle is making clothes.
Yeah.
And then somehow something happens and you have to quit your job, so that this is all, as you said earlier, not a coincidence.
Yeah.
So you just keep moving,
Sure.
and then you go along, and you realize that there are things that need to be done in the industry, it's no longer about me. Yeah? It's no longer about me as a person, because all these things somehow they come from somewhere and they have to go somewhere. And there's a system which needs to follow a certain path. And when that path is not there, so who is creating it? Is it the government? Is it who? They are not creating it. They are not, or they are so out of touch with what is happening. You'll find that there are policies which are there. And you ask yourself, well, who exactly did these people consult before making these policies for the industry that we are in? Yeah. So in that sort of chaos, yeah, then you say, okay, how does this work? How do they arrive at the policy? And how are we working so hard? And there's no equivalent, you said bank statement. It doesn't tally. You're working overnight, you're working every day, but your bank statement is always on empty or something like that. So where are we going wrong? Is it working hard? Then I said, okay, somebody said this is public administration now, you have to study it. And I said, I'm going to study public administration. And then I came across policy, that you can't just say something, you have to be able to influence policy. Yeah? For the government to listen to you, you can't go as Lucy or as Mike, you know. The only thing that government will want from you is your tax money. So you need to be together somehow to make things happen in a certain way. And I think that's how God has worked with me, with whatever I've been a founder member of. And at the moment, we are still also doing quite a bit of mentorship for the young people, because I think maybe we don't want them to go through what we went through. As in, you know, you take so long before you find your path. So younger people are very creative. But at that time when they are beginning, when they're doing their startups, they need to be aware that creativity needs to be put in a certain system. And the system that I usually say is that there are only two. There are things that you have to do, and that's what puts food on the table and money. And then there are things that you want to do, and that's your creativity. And you need, if you get a balance between these two, then you're good to go. But if not, creativity alone will not take you far, if it's not.
So fascinating how you've taken chaos. And because also you need some sense of the bigger being beyond yourself to want to organize chaos or to bring a path or enlightenment to people who may not have the clarity and the gift to be able to navigate chaos. Because also navigating chaos also equals to a gift, to be honest. Not everybody is built to navigate chaos. Some people do chaos a bit, they say, I'm never touching this thing. And they close it and say, this is not for me. So when I then look at your career, Rialto Fashions, you're trying to bring, say, we can use African fabric, we can build African fabric. Then you went into, as an agricultural economist or agriculture engineer, you decided to move into Pamba, Mali, organic cotton. So you say, okay, let's go into agriculture engineering. Let's understand this cotton. Let's understand what the production process is. Only for you to go there and find, hey, there's policy, there's killer kit. Then you come around and say, I want to become a co-founding member of Kenya Fashion Council. Twende, is that correct?
Yes.
Because hapa I cannot innovate by myself. Wacha nijaribu. Then ukaendelea. Kasema we need to create something called sustainable fashion. Then now you're in this realm. Now, where I go to YouTube, I see somebody has said, how do you guys create sustainable, or what we call survival versus creation? When some people decide survival is, I'll wait for mitumba, which as we have agreed as a country, we can bring it as much as we want. And then you say, I'll bring mitumba, I'll put jeans, I'll put some Kenyan fabric on the collar. Is that correct? You bring a big ship of these products.
It's called upcycling.
Upcycling.
That's
And the next thing you say, refiner. Then you ask yourself, policy-wise, creativity-wise, capital-wise, where would George invest in such a business? That's the question I want to ask. Because where are the numbers not mathing in the creative sense? Because here it is, second-hand, brought into a market, put a little bit label called, sell to market. Is that correct? Then there's my friend Lucy, through some spiritual intervention, decides to get into this cotton thing. Is that correct? She goes around, she finds some donors trying to, or some capital that is being infused in an industry trying to train people about creativity, but they don't know how to source raw materials. They don't know how to, quality is not there, so let's mass market, as many people in the market, hoping one of them will become a superstar like Tom Ford. Is that correct? Not realizing Tom Ford was incubated in a massive infrastructure that the British have put for Tom Ford to eventually come from fashion to the spectacles I'm putting on. Is that correct? That is Tom Ford. Can you see how the whole thing is all over the place? So there's capital on one end, there's creativity on one end, then on one side you've got Dr. Joyce, who decides, okay, me, will I create my own fashion brand for makeup? She's a scientist, she's a doctor, pharmacist. She could have moved to the direction of said, I'm going to create my own product. She tells us if she does that. She tells us how many shops she has. Just how many shops do you have?
We have about over 30 stores.
30 stores. How many SKUs, units that you sell in your POS?
It's over 6,500 SKUs. We are multi-brand.
But listen, multi-brand, we'll come to that question. 6,500, 30 stores. Now, the question I'm going to put here, very important, we're going to join these dots. Then me, I'm coming from a technology point of view. Technology is also like fashion. People build great technologies. Some of them dominate the market, whether it is fintechs, okay? Some fintech platforms come, somebody else builds under the fintech platform. So for instance, our enabling M-Pesa platform has helped build significant other businesses around it, but also destroyed others as they do that. I think it's part of the dynamics in the market. But also you could also create great ideation products, and this is even more risky, that you're building something I can't see. I can't see, so it's very easy for intellectual property to be lost, to be mixed in that whole mess. So there are a lot of people who have lost, because now you're telling people innovate. You're also telling guys in creative sing. You're telling people go out there and IP. So now I've painted the journey out there. See? So we know 6,500 SKUs.
Yes.
My sister Lucy, who is saying I'm also going to be in policy. George, who have been with KEPSA with and other forums with the trend, say how even do we leverage as a community. But also he's putting his own money and friends' money. Me coming from a point of view, I've received significant capital, lost capital, made capital, where it's ideation to, from let's go try and create technology solutions to enabling. Now, let's look at that whole chaos. Because it exists in multiple dimensions. Is that correct? Now, and that brings us to the main question, and I want us to reflect. Survival versus creation. When did you move from surviving to creating? And when did you decide that I'm going to create? And when did you decide, and when do you know that you're still surviving? Or at what point did you feel you're under siege? Any one of us can go. But you need then to look at the industry in that holistic conversation.
So, just to bring some clarity, my approach has always been understand how this market plays by risking and then learn, because there's no program. Every time I go to a business school program, everything is modeled from a different market perspective, from a different sensibility. So I'll give you the survival, I'll try to address the survival thing using a fashion example.
I was going to say, fashion, the fashion designers are permanently on survival mode.
My biggest portfolio has always started as fashion, but now I don't have I don't have a big portfolio in fashion. I have more in technology. And at the beginning, the assumptions that we made that Kenyans want dignity, and the way dignity can be expressed amongst other things is what you dress, especially costumes, not the everyday. Can we support those who have this sort of brand awareness? Can they have shops? At the beginning, there were only like 2 brands in Nairobi that had a shop in a mall, say Village Market Yaya. But by the time we had done our first 10 years, we had more than 20 brands that had retail spaces across malls up in Nairobi middle class. But after we risked our money, we started to realize that this market in and of itself is completely distorted. Distorted in such a way that the country imports between 100,000, 150,000 metric tons to 400,000 metric tons of used clothes every year. And these are some clothes that are in the C category, which can be usable, and a lot of them in the unusable category. And the cost of importing this only covers logistics. So any fashion designer who sets up to make clothes in this market, the first competition they're dealing with is a consumer market that only pays for the logistics of garments, not the value of garments. So the competition is already skewed that if they make any product at cost, it will be a luxury product because the market is already conditioned to buying clothes that are already subsidized. All they pay for is the logistics of making the garment arrive at their toy market or at their next level. So the person who comes and takes that material and puts a brand on it or re-envisions it, that person already understands the market. The one who tries to create a comparative product that is new is the one meeting the headwinds. And we've invested in so many of them, and we've seen from a balance sheet perspective that it's an uphill climb. There are those that are able to make sense, and we've also gone into the mass production investment ambition. So if you look around, the garment producers who make money in this country are school uniform sellers. Every town has an Indian shop, and these guys make millions, and they have a sweatshop at the back. They employ 200, 300 people. They make school uniforms. They sell them at peak seasons. So we decided that we invest in some of the Kenyans who do these things. We put money in Eldoret, money in Nakuru, money in Kisumu. But what happened is that the value chain was already taken over. And so the schools send the parents to specific buyers who have specific orders. And so the market is closed. And so then the next thing we saw is that our entrepreneurs were selling our Chinese imported machinery on Facebook Marketplace because they were not producing. And so the value chain around fashion is a very difficult value chain in this country, and that's why policy it's only policy that can cure that value chain, or an export market, or a closed circuit market where you have specific buyers with a specific taste and a specific price point, then you sell to that ghetto or that small enclosure. But however God speaks to a fashion designer in Kenya, they are really being sent to the desert. And hopefully, once they go into the desert, they will learn something. And we've seen a few designers, after 2 series or 3 series of innovation, they come with a very specific product that goes to an international market. Anyango Mpinga is one of the earliest people I worked with. Now they've created a Japanese, a very heavy IP investment that they're now selling IP, not the products, and that is going into global value chains. And so our markets, as much as God is sending us to innovate around them, some of them require exogenous inputs, so that if Kenya is intelligent and wants to support the fashion market, they can choose not to flood the market with cheap imports and support industrialization, so that the new and upcoming designers can have a channel. But I didn't stop at that and say that the market is distorted. What do? We looked at new ways of doing it, new ways of supporting fashion. There are people within fashion industries who have very specific markets, but they're not large markets. They are high aesthetics, high texture, high ethics, and they will buy the ethics. And so these people require low inventory, high turnover of high IP concentrated product. And so we try and remove the need for them to have a heavy P&L capex investment. So we have people we've invested in who can do small batch manufacturing. We've invested in the likes of Shop Zetu, which is the biggest online fashion space right now that supports niche brands. And we've layered financial services on top of Shop Zetu, so that designer who has a high value product does not need to go and justify themselves to a banker. They can use their traction data and get money within the platform to support their next production role. And that's how we have responded to this survival environment that will break most fashion designers who've either studied abroad or who've looked at models that in markets that are more organized and are coming to this intense environment. That's how I would answer.
So you're speaking to two of them who are in that wahala.
Okay. It is a wahala.
Yeah, total wahala. One of them is
in the desert.
When I called Lucy,
we are going to the desert.
You see, Lucy called me.
I
say it's serendipity. She called me because we have an event, an entrepreneurship event, a founder event on 24th of February this month. And it's part of our live events to bring real conversations like this to the guy who's in that treadmill, but never knowing when to get off and not figuring out, I'm not losing weight, I'm not, everything I'm just doing, just moving endlessly. And she called me and said, Mike, I like this thing. Very nice, amazing. Can I bring guys who I'm training? So she asked, can I bring how many? What is the space? So I told her, it's okay. Can they afford? I say, I know actually we never discussed. They should come, actually. And then we said, okay, I told her, by the way, why haven't you come to the show? Then she started telling me everything you said, now she said in reverse. When you look at film, traditional conduct film. You look at film, you look at it at light. Then you remember those days you would say, turn it around.
Yeah.
So you've said one side of the film. So now, Lucy, tell me this side of the film. Because everything you said, but from a different side.
Okay, there's a few, he's put it so clearly, and it's so painful, It's like, ouch, 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 especially when he said we are going to the desert, because that's, that's the reality, yeah? And we are not able to save ourselves if somebody doesn't come to save us. If you look at the containers which come in, and even the quality of those clothes, we are not going anywhere as an industry, to be very, very honest, unless something is done about this. So it's very hard to talk to when you have young people who are so excited, and if you're on the catwalk and they come to you and they say, I always admire you, I always, why can't you show me the ropes here? And you try to show them the ropes, and they are already in the space where they are called startups. And there's a lot of funding for startups somehow. And George, I want you to tell me now why you people are funding startups when you know they are heading for the desert. Yeah? Because there's a lot of funding available for startups. But there's funding for people who know the truth. It doesn't come. There's always something which there's always a reason why you don't get it. Even for an organization like Fashion Council, which brings the industry together. So what is this that you are not telling? Are we supposed to just wait for the end? Yeah. The startups make mutumba. They upcycle. It's a real buzzword now. You recycle, and that's sustainability, and there's this green thing that everybody is talking about. Sure. But what is the reality? If you take all those people who are upcycling versus all the containers which are coming in, what is the percentage of garments which are being upcycled? And how much of the garments which come in end up in waste? And whose problem is this that we are trying to sort by pretending, I'm saying quote unquote, that we are upcycling and using sustainable fashion? It's like a drop in the ocean in comparison to what comes in. So how does this thing come in, and why are those people not sorting out their problem? From the other side, why is it that people like you who understand this chain so well are funding maybe the startups when they are not going very far? That's the reality. Yeah? That's the reality, because how many of those things can you rip and make into how many, if you're a solopreneur, or even if you have fundis, and how much will they sell? So my appeal to you who is in that space is that you talked about integrity. You have a moral obligation, yeah, to look at these people who are so excited and who are coming into the industry, and to give them some sort of lifeline through us, because they are coming to us, and we can't tell them go to hell. We have to. They're at that stage where they are creative, and their creativity has to find some exit, some outlet, and we are there for them. And we are not only there for them for what they have. We are also there. We should tell them about what they can do, or how it was back then. But when we try that angle, their ears are kind of closed. They know they'll get a funding here and there, and they'll go some few steps ahead. But when you meet them after some 5 years, they come in and they're very big, and then they disappear quietly, and you never hear about them. And others come in, and the story is the same. And this is what I'm very concerned about, that you meet somebody who was so good and so creative, and if they had that proper platform of, maybe they have the cotton, and they have the creativity, and they have the guidance, and they have the money, yeah, then they would go somewhere. And for me, as somebody who has been in the fashion industry and who has refused, who has accepted to be broke and refused to go that way of importing those containers, because that's very easy money, yeah? Or you're going to China and importing ready clothes, or going to Turkey. I have refused all those. And you know, if you refuse those, then you are struggling. Yeah? But in terms of integrity and in terms of what this country can be if we put our resources in the right place, I think it is a conversation that we need to have. And I feel that we need to put money and systems in the pockets of those people who have that faith in the country and who see that creativity as something which is potentially explosive and something which will stop these importations. Because why should we even export? And we have containers coming here, either from China or from Turkey or from Europe or from America, whether they're secondhand or new. So what exactly are we exporting? And we are not even able to service the market here. I think that is a conversation that I would like to start somewhere and lead it to the logical or illogical conclusion, because there has to be some sort of balance.
I think, to cut you short, Lucy, I think it's powerful what she said. And it's not just the textile industry we are talking about. She brings emotion to me when she talks about those containers that come day to day. And people are making money, lots of money through those containers. It's not just textiles. The beauty industry is flooded with those containers. We are here busy as founders of this industry, trying to fight counterfeits, trying to fight misuse of skin lighteners and other unethical products, because there's a spirit in us that is driving us. Now, if you have a business that you're just being driven by money, you take all sorts of shortcuts. And the most interesting thing, those are the people who are making more money. Those are the people who are appealing to the funders, because more money begets more money. Those of us who are struggling to be ethical, to preach the right thing, are hardly able to speak for themselves. They do not have anyone to advocate for them. That's where we find ourselves. You go to Du Bois Street. The other day, there's a lady who worked for me over 20 years ago. And because when they work for me, I train them. I instill my values in them. And we speak, no skin lighteners. If somebody comes, talk to them. Please stop this. So she worked for me and she took those values. She left me some times back and she calls me out of the blue and says, hey, Mom, I opened a store at Du Bois. And let me tell you, this is where business is booming. It's booming. I know what you preached to us. I know what you taught us. But I will not digress from it. Let me tell you why I pitched in Du Bois. Because of what you taught me, I've opened a store here. Because so many ladies are damaging their skins by using the wrong products. Their skin lightening, their skins get so thin, they get damaged. So I decided I'll pitch here, and I'll be treating those ones now who have gone beyond. So I'm like a doctor in Du Bois. Wow. So don't be disappointed. I'm not doing the opposite of what you trained me. Sure. But I'm here to pitch them. So what I'm telling you is get me a product, better products that can actually treat those skins. Sure. I felt so good that it's not in vain that we train the right perspectives, the good ethics we train. And I'm not ashamed to say that I'm proud that I work not putting money first. Sure. I put the passion of, I want this person to look beautiful. I want to meet this person. If they have a problem on the skin, I would even stop on the roadside and talk to them and tell them, I can help you. I have something in here that I didn't pay for. God has given me a talent. God has given me a skill. that I can use actually to make you feel beautiful.
Sure.
We have gotten the chance to transform young girls, teenagers, who are at the verge of committing suicide, because over the years they have been fighting teenage acting. They feel they are not beautiful. They lose their confidence. So sometimes their mothers or their fathers reach out to us. And we take them under our cover, take them skincare. Our main focus is skincare at Linton's. We take them through. I have had cases whereby university students, somebody took maybe HR or another course. They go back to the mother and say, I am changing to beauty because of the way Linton's has treated me. If they can do that, and I can do that to somebody else, I would feel more, I have made more impact, and I'll feel more fulfilled. So that, I don't know who is going to help me. I will not look at, it's not George, but we need to advocate, because I can't fight this battle alone of counterfeits, of skin lighteners, of educating young girls and even our people generally. We have not taught them how to use beauty products.
Sure.
That they can actually, they are good for you because they prevent you from that later stage of going to a dermatologist.
Sure.
That later stage, because you are using a sunscreen, you prevent yourself from getting skin cancer. And so many things. There's a lot of education that can be reached out. So as time went on, and we realized that I cannot do it alone, I have to get people in a classroom. So the Linton's Beauty Academy was born out of that, to mentor young people, so that I can duplicate myself to more and more. They can go out there in Kisumu, in Mombasa, everywhere, and preach this good news, that we have good products. We have good products. We have good knowledge. We can consult you. So out of that, we start the academy, and then we come to find our people are struggling. They can't afford the fees. And in this academy, you have to pay the lecturers. You have to have a setup that you are paying for.
Sure.
So the struggle led us to start a foundation, because we felt we need the Georges of this world, the HEVA, a real foundation, which has come on board, to actually get these willing individuals, whether they are university graduates, whether they are Form 4 leavers, to get and pay for them so that they get this knowledge. We feel that as Linton's, we have a package that we could really burst out of the room to preach it, to shout it on rooftops.
To convert.
But how do we get there? We need that funding for those people to come, and we help them. And you know what? For us, it's not the money that will take, it's impact. Impact to this young generation that will now create many jobs. So we fund them, they get the knowledge, they go out there to be makeup artists, freelancers, they go out there to be brand ambassadors, because over the years we have realized that the beauty brands, international beauty brands, still do not find us that we have a platform where they can trust us. They are still sending us trainers from Europe, from France, from South Africa. So the question, the bitter pill that we are having is, why? Why this? Our people are intelligent. Kenyans are so intelligent. It is just because we have not crossed that barrier of saying that there is something beautiful in the beauty industry. There are opportunities, great opportunities of working, partnering with those global brands in this country. You could be the one. So this forum today, I'm happy, Michael, because I think it will help us tell that story. That there is opportunity. Do you know how we proved this opportunity during COVID? we had like maybe 20 stores. And we were shaken. I think you're talking about fear in this forum sometimes. That's a time as Linton's Beauty World, we were shaken because we thought, earlier on we thought that this luxury, beauty, who will need beauty when there's an epidemic like this? So we thought we'll close all the stores. Okay. But you know, year after year, we did very well. Wow. I was impressed with Kenyans. They still wanted to feel beautiful, to look beautiful, and to be healthy, because we preach wellness as well. And the business survived. It was one of the sectors that did very well in the midst of pandemic. Sure. And that proved to us that there is potential in this business. Sure. But look at our funds. Look at even the government. Sure. I think beauty is the last thing that is on anybody's mind. Fashion is the last thing that is on people's mind. They tend to think that maybe this is a profession for failures, for school dropouts, people who are not so intelligent. But look at this lady.
Good example.
A graduate award. And she is persisting there. She can afford to bring a full container of mitumba and make more money.
Yes.
So what I wonder about this God of ours, why is she still restrained from going to bring that container? Why am I being restrained from bringing a container and going to Du Bois? Because within a week I would make the money that maybe I would make in 10 years. Yes.
So what?
Ethics.
Ethics. So Daktari,
yes,
interesting because so it's good you guys have done a service to that sketch and that canvas, right? So I read multiple things. And I'm going to speak to also a very interesting industry called technology. Sure. Which in a way, technology is very intertwined. You guys are doing physical goods or physical fashion, beauty. Now there's also the other side of technology, which I'm going to talk to in a bit, but I'm looking at three things. Policy, the amount of policy documents, I can guarantee you without fail, the amount of policy documents that are somewhere online, that are somewhere on paper, that have been driven around what you guys have talked about are in the thousands, correct? Execution capability, political will to execute, that's a different conversation. I also think when you look at global exports, I think the fallacy that we've told every new guy is that build this product and then you'll go to London or go to Paris and somehow itashika moto will become the next big thing in London fashion or whatever. Yeah. Is that correct?
Yes.
Which I feel sad because not everybody will go through that value chain. Yeah. Is that correct? That's the reality. Even in technology, most of people are building hoping they'll become the next TikTok. Is that correct? The next big thing. But what George is telling you, he has figured out that he's not going to downstream because he says down there he lost money. So what has he decided? He's become an aggregator of technology, of big brands, and said, me, I'm going to sit here and do what we call fintech-enabled capability. Right? It's lending to the guy who is selling or lending to even the guy who is buying. Correct? So it's capital playing at different level. Then we have what we call closed circuit, you talked about. Closed circuit is things like AGOA, things like XYZ. Okay? Now I'm going to ask you a question that's a bit out of context. No, not out, it's still. So China is unable to, China is having challenges with AGOA, being that the tariffs have been significantly enhanced by the current regime in America. Now, so what stops you? Okay, what stops you as Lucy or as Dr. Joyce or as George to become the biggest manufacturer of getting a Chinese partner, sitting with them in Kenya and moving their whole factory from China to Kenya and from Kenya to America? Tell me, is it your spiritual faith Is it you're not innovating, you're just doing copy, fine. Those products you're going to do here will eventually come back here as mitumba. It's okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that correct? The product you're going to do for the guy here at Central America, imagine as funny as bad as it sounds, it will come back here and be whatever recycle as you guys call it. Is that correct? What is stopping you? Capital is available. The Chinese can't export from there. Africa has got it. We have available land. We have a lot of unemployment. What is it? Is it a skill? Is teaching? Is it figuring out I'm going to do buttons and then somebody's going to do zippers and I'm going to do cutting? Is it specialization at that core?
I think
I'm just answering.
I will answer last.
I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
if God came to me, next to me here, and told me solve this problem,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what would I do about it? I'm thinking, I'll challenge you guys because I think God is here omnipresent constantly.
Sure.
So it's you to apply your mind. So what would you guys do? Imagine Goa is there. Kenyans have decided, we have agreed politically, we still do whatever, no problem. So now why can't you serve the world from here?
I think, Michael, in addition to what you have said, it's a beautiful question. It's a good question, powerful. Because it brings me to the point of how much avocados do we export from this country? That's an item I'll give you actually to question us even more. What is hindering us? We export avocados. Our dogs
flowers.
feed on avocados because they get spoiled and they are falling all over the place. We have so much of it.
Sure.
And they're telling me that avocado oil, even for cooking, is the best oil in this country. I'm telling you, I go to the supermarkets, I'm not getting that avocado oil.
Sure.
What is hindering Dr. Joyce? What is hindering Lucy or George from actually setting up an avocado oil pressing company to extract that oil so that we don't even have to export the avocados
We export
in
the
bulk.
oil.
We export oil. Now, there are two things personally I know. Small-mindedness. If our minds, where we have come from, our backgrounds, taught us to remain small, not to think big. You think big, people think you are crazy. So that is one of them, small-mindedness. Number two, it's inability to access funding. Some of us are meeting George the first time today. We don't know how to go out. We just know what to do. We just know to dispense. We just know to talk to the client. But we do not have that expert to connect us to get to know that you can actually move to the next level. So there is one, that one which needs education, which needs to break those barriers and start training our children. I'm very happy when I see your son here. You really doing what I'm thinking in me, that he is going to go. You see, Leo? Leo is going to go so far because of the exposure you are doing for him right here. But imagine us who grew in the farm, planting onions, cabbages, harvesting coffee and all that. Our minds were not really that open. So there is hope. There is hope of bringing.
I will interject and look at it in two ways, because
let's look at the capital. Bring the capital conversation.
Yeah.
Why is capital? Why there's capital for profit?
Sure.
There is capital for good, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
A lot of donor money, whatever you want to call it, money going into this industry.
Sure.
Why would donor money be driving people to the desert intentionally with the hope that one guy will become the beacon of hope in a global market? Why would that happen? Why? Okay, that's number one. Number two, what is the blend between profitable capital, which is profitable, and then combining that with long-term capital, like you're in Exim? Just speak to that. I just understand why, yet the tech industry, the amount of capital being poured in the tech industry is like,
it's ridiculous.
It's like, my God, this guy has just lost $200 million. Like, oh my God, this money should have been put in what we're talking. So why is tech able to, let me move, And yet, and even you said, I'm no longer in fashion, I'm in tech. Something you hinted towards that direction. How did you give up on this people?
No, George, there's something that
Have you given up?
there's something that I need to put inside.
that.
Just put inside
Sure.
there.
So we let George now answer this one. Don't put him on the rail, Kabisa. Because he's got two sides of the equation.
Yeah.
He can
Yes.
speak as somebody, a senior executive in a bigger multinational or bigger bank.
Yes.
And he can speak on this side as a founder of a fund. So he's wearing two hats.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a global employee
Sure.
and as a entrepreneur. Now tell us.
Well, George,
She's
Nobody-
loading, she's loading
let
the
me
question.
load- let me
it's
load
going
the
to be
question
heavier.
again.
Yes.
you have said how your fingers got burnt and
Sure.
how now you are doing it with a
With that
certain
better understanding.
A better understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
From that side.
Sure.
Okay. From where I sit,
Sure.
I have a very good understanding.
Sure.
Having been in the industry for some 30 odd years or so,
Yes.
of how the grassroots operates. You know,
sure.
that one tailor.
Sure.
That tailor whom you have to, everybody needs a tailor. One day you need a hem somewhere. You know, those one machine industries are there. There are these small organizations of designers, and there's also the small industries. Yeah, Hiva, for example, funded Kenya Fashion Council to do masks. There was a mask drive during the COVID time. And that was the only thing that tailors did around that time. And you could do it inside your house. Now, as a result of COVID and as a result of what was happening, what we as a council undertook to do, we were able to supply a lot of masks to Safaricom.
Sure.
We got the order from Safaricom. It was a collective responsibility,
Sure.
but everybody had that talent. You go and pitch. You go and get to manufacture. You do the cutting. You do the sample.
Sure.
And then you do the printing, you know.
Sure.
So already, according to me, that's an innovation because we were able to get masks to come
Across the
together
country, yeah.
from different parts of the country
Sure.
when each and everyone is doing just their part.
Sure.
Yeah, if somebody, I think the cutting was done in the EPZ.
Yes.
So somebody cut everything in the EPZ.
Sure.
The samples were done in Rialto.
Sure.
So we made a sample for everybody.
Sure.
The distribution was done at the various points, including Rialto and other designers and other office bearers.
Sure.
And then the collection, we collected them together, took these things for printing, packaged them, and then dispatched them to Safaricom.
Yes.
And we were able to pay back Hiva in record time.
Wow.
Sure.
So you see, that is something that's an innovation right there. Yeah. So we need funding from you first of all to patent that as an innovation. Oops, I hope nobody will get there before us. But then another thing is there's a lot out here that can be done. And we are able to do it, and we've proved that we are able to do it. And we've proved that we even have that system. We've created that system that can reach Fundi in Nakuru with one sample and a cut piece. And they can manufacture all these things. And they can be checked at one central point and the little packaging done. And what is stopping us from taking these things for export? From making the shirts like this, instead of having importation. I think the ones who are stopping us are people like you.
No, I will.
No, but let him answer. You guys put on
Defend
the.
yourself.
George said he wants philosophical structure.
Yes, so and
He'll come from
is
philosophical
comfortable
to
with chaos.
to
practical.
and he said chaos. So
Yeah.
what you guys have put him is through what we call in Swahili ngware. Chaos.
Yes.
Githeri.
You want to.
So we've done it.
Agreed.
We have done it.
But there's something you've said.
Paid money.
There's something you've said.
We've-
Sure.
There's
Yes.
something you've said that is very that we have to
Sure.
see.
Yeah.
And let's assume the role of all of us and the role of why we are in a show like this is to join the dots.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you said that masks a guy in Nakuru was able to do masks.
Yes.
So what did we do well? We created pockets of capability.
Yes.
Somebody could cut. Somebody was great in supply chain. Somebody was good in marketing. Somebody was good in
And
teaching.
there was an off-taker.
And there was an off-taker. Something
Yes.
you said, closed circuit ecosystem. Is that correct?
Safaricom.
Took us out.
Safaricom.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So
the
far.
Fashion Council was who in the whole,
That-
in
it
your
Was
in-
organizing the market.
It was Fashion Council was the referee. Okay. To make sure that quality and everything is delivered. So we have agreed there. Is that correct?
Sure.
But then George said, for school uniform, what he did, he already invested in a company in Ghana, in Kericho, in wherever, and they realized, oh my,
The market is
this
closed.
whole machinery is intertwined somehow.
Sure.
So let's now go back to the difficult question. And what we've said, part of this show, and now, and just I want us to take just a second, because I want George to answer this clearly, and somebody like Joyce, who has 30 stores, 6,500 SKUs, will also put her in a sport,
Sure.
in a good way, is to say, when the question I never answered, and I want us now to connect to this, was, if God was next to me, what would I want? I never answered that question.
Sure.
For me, what I want, and I want to repackage it based on you guys are here to help me achieve it,
Okay.
is capacity to create velocity and scale in a shorter period to create, using talents that I possess or gifts to create joy.
Sure. Wow.
Understood?
Wow. I will take that answer
Yeah.
as
But
my
it's
own going forward.
No problem. Great job. So maybe what you need,
Sure.
George, to answer this question is to figure out how to bring joy to her life.
Sure.
Because she knows she's going to the desert. She's clearly saying.
Sure.
Imagine.
She was very high energy about joy is not there.
Sure.
So if you ask me to be in fashion, I'm saying, hey, this thing is tough. This industry. So our role in this show is to amplify joy
Joy.
by giving people an opportunity
Sure.
to say, I watched that show, I made a decision that changed my life.
Sure.
So you are going to help me, you're helping me create that velocity and scale by times 10.
Sure.
Your story is created by times 10. Sure. Joyce's experience is by 10. So by having you guys, today we have multiplied that joy by times
Yeah.
X amount.
X
So
amount,
at the shortest period possible. So now let's come back. We've talked about, it has to be collision of the willing.
Sure.
You have capital.
Sure.
You have the skill. There's nothing I can show you
And
about
the network.
teaching. There's nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Material.
There's nothing I can show Joyce about shop front,
Sure.
location,
Sure.
brand,
Product.
And the mentoring.
customer,
Yeah. Mentoring.
warehousing, mentorship. Is that correct?
Correct.
There's nothing you can tell me about technology. I'll tell you, no, that won't work. I'll tell you now, don't invest in SaaS.
Sure.
Take agents, take AI, blah, 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 blah. Is that correct?
Sure.
So let's assume that again, God was next to us here.
Sure.
So as you answer your question, let's assume God is next to us. And God is not going to give you a new gift. You already possess a gift.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's answer this question
With
like
that in
God
mind.
gives us the gift to execute.
So I'll just say this, that I open shop every day. I have more than 35 people who leave their families every morning to deliver joy. So I'm in the active work of answering some of these questions at my scale, and that is heaven. But I'm also, in my everyday life as a non-executive director in a fully owned subsidiary of the bank, helping a wholesale bank figure out how to work with retail banks and other financial institutions to bring the capital that HIVA does not have available to flood the ecosystem, so that this question is not answered by HIVA alone. It can be answered by all the retail banks that are operating in all the markets across the continent. So those are my dual commissions. But let me come back to the HIVA level. Why is it that HIVA cannot work with the Chinese Exim Bank so that we have X amount of capital, so that we are not only financing 100 contracts to 150 contracts a year, we can expand those contracts, maybe in fashion and in other sectors. That is one way of looking at it. Or why is it that our our validated customers who have already taken some level of sophistication, why aren't they able now to partner directly with a Chinese company and redomicile them into Kenya and sell to AGOA or through the economic partnership agreement that we have with the Europeans, and so on and so forth. So I think that's how I'm framing my first answer. I think there has to be someone who takes the burden of sophistication. And I'll give you models. So in the same desert that we have invested in some fashion and we've burnt our fingers, there are those that read the room and ate the toad and decided that we were going to do the thing that everyone is unable to do. We will muscle, we will leverage all our capacities and do it. And I'll give an example. We don't invest in them, but we are friends. Vivo have shown a kind of a model to the Kenyan fashion ecosystem that you can get a simple product, mass produce it, brand it, put it conveniently in shop fronts, and change that design fast enough at a given price point, and you will break even. You will not answer the systemic issues, but you will give women a costume dignified, but at their price point, in a location where they can fit and change without it being too pricey. And so they've sort of tried to point at what is possible within this chaos. So the rest of us, like Hiva, will be like, at what is a systemic issue that we can deal with? Is it scale? And does that mean machinery? Does that mean we have to support your inventory system where we layer some money where you can get all this fabric at a go in bulk, even if you don't use it this year, and you can only pay us when you use the fabric. So it's not yours, it is ours. So that you don't carry that debt in your P&L and it doesn't frustrate your working capital. So that's how we are trying to come closer to people who've swallowed the toad in the morning. The other ones decide that I am really good at design, so let me sell IP. Instead of starting my own enterprise so that I have to take in the cost of branding, cost of why don't I just sell my brands to people who already have the infrastructure? And we have financed quite a number of these kinds of transactions. So the burden of sophistication is on the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur primarily will take the upside of that sophistication. So it cannot be a Hiva burden. Hiva can come early because we are early investors who are not the traditional investment banks, but will come and help you sophisticate along the way. Help you think about your model and layer a financial understanding alongside so that you don't have to innovate in the traditional way, so that you are innovating with a financial view, because you will go into the financial markets and get someone else to bring in the markets. And so why do we like startups? The reason we like startups is that they are open to new ideas. They absorb new innovations easier than traditional businesses. One example to illustrate that, 2023-2024, the global music distributors, the likes of Universal, all of them, Sony were starting to buy catalogs from Africa. And as soon as the catalogs were starting to be bought off, every person, every studio that had 10 years, 30 years, 40 years of catalog immediately wanted to enter the ecosystem of licensing. The buyers, because it's not the intermediaries, say the people who aggregate and then they sell it as one product, came to us and said, you are in this market, please pre-finance us to take all your 80s music, 60s music, 70s music into global distribution. And so we said, because this is a big market, we're going to put in an outlay of capital that will help the people who have IP to sophisticate the IP, to bring it to global standards, and to also support the cash flows of the intermediaries to buy a lot more. And then we take a haircut. What we realized though, everyone who was a middle-sized operation had the worst IP practices. So the entire catalog was untransferable because the drummer, the musician, is the same person. They did not distribute their rights. So the assets could not be moved.
Totally.
So what we did is that we decided our entire acquisition model will change to supporting new studios who can publish using new innovation because they do not have the downsides. And so that's why the startups are exciting, because they're able to take on new innovation. But that doesn't mean that medium-sized businesses cannot be flexible. And so I'll end my response from a bottoms up there, that there's a real burden for thinking about the new market as we create our business models. On the counter side, I sit at a wholesale level of finance, looking at the continent, looking at our monies. So the first thing I have to understand, at that level, what does that money respond to? The bank that we have has hundreds of billions of dollars, and they open shop every day to on-lend. But what is it that they respond to? The first thing I realized, at the back of the mind of my bank, is that they've borrowed their money from financial markets. The thing that they're sensitive to is a AAA rating. They don't care about the recipient. The god of the bank is a AAA rating, and their debt portfolio to be AAA or to be A. It cannot sound like it is risky, as otherwise the bank won't get capital. And so that anxiety is funneled down to the last investment. And therefore, a fashion investment that's not AAA will never get adopted unless someone as sophisticated enough has gone to the Chinese partner who has been backed by the Exim of that side, and they've gotten to a real supply deal that is watertight, and they have organized the waterfall of investment from equity to senior debt to all these things. So they're already sophisticated. They can meet the demands of the money that has that high level of anxiety. So is that money for Lucy? Maybe it is not money for Lucy today, but it can be money for Joyce, because Joyce already has this operation that can now take the cost of sophistication. And the cost of sophistication is the cost that a lot of our businesses don't take. My business, perhaps, I'll give you an example of Hiva. For a long time, I was the sole fundraiser. My team did the disbursement and running the machine, but I was always the one going with my small English to go to Europe, I speak to these people, they tell me yes and no, I tweak the proposals mid-flight, by the time I land, I send it to them. And I realized that that kind of resource had a ceiling.
100%.
So then I had to take on the cost of sophistication. Now I have to get the auditors who are the Deloittes and PwCs. I have to get people who've studied a certain kind of CPAK to be in my finance suit. I have to get certain kind of board members. I have to get a certain level of sophistication that can allow me to align with the kind of money that is in that I am targeting. Because I've already exhausted the amount of capital I can exhaust at my level, at my previous level of sophistication. And that's why I even resigned from my own CEO position to get more capable people to now take the business to the next season. So the cost of sophistication has to be borne by the business, aligning to the kind of capital that they want. Is that the only kind of capital available in the market? We have different types of capital. You mentioned the time we were together at KEPSA. That season was a significant inflection point in the economy of this country, and by extension, the reality we are dealing with today. Previously, in the Kibaki administration, the country had not rebased its economy, and globally we were being viewed as a least developed country, which means 2 decades before that, all the money that was coming into the country was grants, was charity. And then the previous president rebased the economy, and suddenly we are a middle income country, which means whatever Uganda gets as grants, whatever Tanzania gets as a European charity, dried up in a single financial year. But we did not have a transition period where most of our creative practices, culture practices, and all these businesses were being outlaid, their capital was being outlaid by European grants or soft money, which meant our business models were we had risk-free money. So any business that was formed before the year 2000, in some way, had risk-free, premium-free money, unless it was credit from our financial system. And so there were businesses that were born before that. If they don't innovate, they collapse, especially in my sector. And there were businesses that have been born in the pure entrepreneurship mindset. And so those ones account for every coin. They account for any unit of labor. They account for every unit of production. And if those don't make sense, they collapse within their first 5 years. And then the entrepreneur goes on and starts a new thing. And so we have to talk to two vernaculars of money. The vernacular that says, stay in Africa, do cute things, allow us to dump in your market, but we will give you grants endlessly. And then you survive and you don't ask us hard questions. We don't give you access to our market. You just stay in your ghetto, you do your small businesses, and we are cute. And British Council does what British Council does. The French do what they do. The Italians do what they do. But what was the basis of their money is that we created business models that respond to cheap, royalty-free money that does not require the money to be effective and to turn around and sustain the business. Post-rebasing of our economy, we've seen the withering down of that model, and it has halted the creative sector. There's almost like a desert between the old model of business and the new model of business. Thanks to some businesses that were already in the economy, they could survive out of their traction in the economy. But we are seeing new models right now in the economy where fashion businesses are selling at market price points, and they're not calling themselves luxury, and people are buying because they've decided community is their new model. They will explore their IP development model. They will price it appropriately, and they will only go to the customer that buys, and they sustain their market. They go B2B, B2C, and if that fails, they close it down, innovate a new model, and move. So the previous dispensation did not look at the business as a commodity in and of itself. So maybe Lucy created a business that this is my lifelong legacy, and this business will outlive me, and this business will employ the next round of people. But the new businesses that we have are commodities, they are tradable, they are collapsible. Nobody has sentiment over their brands. I own more than 15 trademarks of businesses that I've started and closed. If it didn't work, I cut my losses and I move. So the new entrepreneur is already being coached with the new conditions of our market. And the truth is, if you don't innovate, if you do not invest in that space, then the key man risks remain. But there are people who move past key man risk to create sort of a little fiefdom, which is in this our sector, you create your own community, you add value onto that community, you create loyalty, and you now survive on customer, the life value of the customers. And we are starting to see cultural businesses now that are built on community.
Bespoke.
Yes.
Bespoke but not scalable.
True.
Yeah. But it's amazing you've laid that clearly. Now let's go to Joyce or Joyce actually. 6,500 SKUs.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you a question. You have to call your guy in the office. Don't worry. How many of these SKUs are local?
Local.
That's number one. Number two, if not local, there's something you've said. There's a brand you've said. Is it L'Oreal or somebody?
Yeah.
Who has agreed to work with you and start investing in your university or your trade organization.
Yes.
Amazing, because it means they've begun seeing. Is that correct? And how many of your SKUs could be global IP but manufactured locally?
Powerful question. Embarrassed to answer, because I'm looking at this country, and as I was talking to George earlier, is that we have, when we started in the 80s, we did not have the know-how. We did not have the product. So we relied on the global brands. Brands like Estée Lauder, Clarins, Dior, Chanel, and all that. These brands have been there for centuries. They are very well organized, very well funded, they are stable.
Sure.
So they are willing to know what makes a product succeed and outlive the rest.
Sure.
They know there are things like, supply chain.
Sure.
They don't have to come to us themselves. They have maybe regional distributors who are mandated to do the marketing, to do the merchandising, to train fellows like us how business is done, so that when you come to our store, you'll find that it is same as the one in South Africa. The counter of Clarins in South Africa or in France is the same as the one in Nairobi.
Sure.
So there is that standardization they have done. And they partner with us. They don't just come and give us the product and say, there you are, sell it. No. They get involved to the final detail. It's not like I walk to China, get that container, and because my focus is making cash,
Sales, yeah.
I come and put it there and take it. If you know how to use it, fine, it's up to you. No. Ours is a business that puts some thought into it. Consultation is a key thing because our background is medical, is pharmacy. And we believe that when you come to us as a client,
Sure.
you don't just need the product. You need that expertise, how to use it.
Sure.
The user manual has to be there. Sure. The education part has to be there. Sure. And that's why we have combined not just the product.
Sure.
Now, any business you do, like you have said, you don't do it solo.
Sure.
You have to partner with others and you have to train others. And what I've realized, the key to success, the key for you to move from this mode to the next one,
Sure.
from the survival mode to the other one,
Sure.
it is for you to let go. Let go of the fact that when you start that business, tailoring business, you hone
It's yours.
the ideas. You don't want to share with anybody else where you get those buttons from. You don't want to share with the other one where you get this from. You hold it to yourself. You cannot grow. The minute you realize that whatever God has in store for you is yours and it cannot be stolen, and then you let go, you start sharing ideas like we are sharing here now. There's no way I can run Everfat at all.
And me too, I'd struggle.
Yes. So the key to success and moving forward is actually opening up.
Sure.
Getting rid of the fears that hold us captive. Like in my profession, you'll find that there are stores that started, some Indian shops that were very entrenched, very well known and doing well. But if you look for them now, you won't find them. And you ask yourself, 30 years down the line, what is the reason? Why don't you find them? It is because there was that fear that I have to always be at the tail.
Sure.
I'm the one taking the money. I can't trust these guys here to take the money.
Sure.
If you hold yourself there, you're the one to wait for the money. You're the one to talk to the client because you can't release George or somebody else to talk to the client because you feel that they will steal the client from you. You are held captive. You remain there. You're not going to open another branch and another branch. So our breakthrough, Michael, came when we realized that this business is not just for one person. It is, we have to bring it to a profession of beauty, that everybody is involved. How do they get involved if they do not know? How will they know if they are not told?
Sure.
So we took it as our duty to tell them, to preach this news of beauty. And you'll find that the country now is flooded with a lot of people operating here and there. And we are trying to bring their level to our level through the academy. Now, coming back to why we do not have a lot of local products is because you find that, yes, you may be able to know George and get a lot of money. Then you get that money, you make the product. But you are not thought about how this product is going to be positioned in Joyce's store. You have not thought about the marketing strategies. You don't have a business plan. You think that it's just making a cleanser or making a moisturizer or a perfume and it will just be sold. You struggle with the little money you have. Maybe you had borrowed, even your house is sold and all that, you're struggling. I'll not be able to support your product without the support that I need from you. Without you coming to train my people that this product, this is why we made it. It is better than Clarine's, or it's better than Estée Lauder, which is imported because of X, Y, Z. The customer has choice, has got the privilege to choose what they want. Our Kenyan people are quite exposed nowadays. Many travel, and they have got to know about those global brands. The Instagram, the TikTok, and all that, they are watching it every day. And they're seeing what is being propelled and pushed out there. So even if you're my sister, and you made this wonderful brand, I'll place it on my shelf. We have done a few of them. And it stays there and gathers dust for a year or so. So finally, we just tell you, I'm sorry. We are paying rent for this space. The product is not moving because it's not my duty to make it move. You, as the producer, as the manufacturer, you should have figured out how are you going to move from A to Z. So that is the limiting factor. A lot of people ask us, Joyce, you've been in this industry for over 40 years. Why haven't you made your own Arlington's product? I keep dreaming, I keep wishing, I would love to have a brand with our name. But those are the fears that have really kept me here, because I've not figured out how to get enough finance to say that I'll go to Kisumu, I'll go wherever where Murang'a, where avocados are being imprinted. I'll press the avocado oil, even for starters, even without making any other product from it and deliver it lentils, avocado oil. I start from there.
I have to enter here and give you an example.
Yes.
And this is exactly the thing that I think entrepreneurship sometimes can help.
Yeah.
I think 5 years ago, there's a lady called Harriet Ngok, and she runs a brand called HB.
HB.
HB walked up to our office and she told us her story, and her story is documented. I don't want to repeat it. But she said that she discovered this product because of her own personal health issues.
Yeah.
And every time she went to her home in Sotik, her grandmother would make this concoction for her. And now she knows how to make it. And I visited her home in Karen, and she had big black sufurias that she was boiling this witch brew with, and she was selling it in plastic containers. And everyone in my office started consuming it. And definitely, from everyone's personal experience, whatever she was promising, we could realize it. And she was the test candidate because she said, this thing brought my life back.
Yeah.
And she quit her job from Goldman Sachs in New York. She moved to Nairobi, and she continued to boil this thing. And she called it an obscure Kenyan name, which from a branding perspective, who will pronounce that name?
I don't know.
No, the name of the product.
Yeah,
She used her ethnic names to name it.
Yeah.
So it was a clunky product operating in a mystical Kenyan place where we have not decided who is a healer, who is a witch, and who is a herbal medical practitioner vis-a-vis a doctor.
Yes.
But then we realized that her immediate barriers were not necessarily that she will stop making this thing, because the proof of concept is herself and the thing is moving. People are buying it with the jerry cans. In fact, most people are quitting modern medicine who suffer that condition, and they're already on her product.
Yeah.
My sister and my mom moved from their pharmacy medicine.
Yeah.
So she already had the texture for it, but she didn't have the medical and the whatever proof for her.
The cost of sophistication, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so what we did, we put in 5 million shillings, which came from the soft money I was talking about, for her to go and do her toxicology reports, her certifications, so that she has a basis to start thinking of the enterprise.
Yeah.
And as soon as she got that, then there were enough people and partners who were, okay, this thing is not a witch's brew, it can be a product. So the branding people came in. She brought in sophisticated partners who know the whole manufacturing thing.
Yes.
And right now it's the fastest selling product in Kenya, wellness product. And she has now 5 different other products, powder form, capsule form, drinks, and now she's a full pharmacy that's supporting Kenyan wellness. So what she did is she identified her first few barriers that would allow her to have a competent conversation and bring people on board. And that is the burden of the entrepreneur, to sophisticate. And there are people in this market that are looking for the blue ocean opportunities like that, to put in the first early capital, not when it requires 100 million, when it requires 10 million shillings, when it requires 5 million shillings, because that is the value of one apartment in Nairobi. And now the apartments, we've seen the return profile.
It's low, yes.
It's very low. So I think for those of us who have these platforms, for you, the thing that works for you is that you know how to sell this thing.
Yeah.
And so that is the thing to sell to the partners, and then they bring the capital, and then you assemble the superpower team, and you use your circuit. So I feel that you need to bring in your daughter, the daughter that you have given birth to, or the one that you've mentored, to take that risk and to accompany that idea into the next season of its own life without requiring your personal energy for it.
Maybe I should say this. It's already started.
Sure.
I think it's like you are once, actually God had them before.
Sure.
And we are privileged. Our son is the MD of the company
Sure.
since 2019. You know him. And those are those that are to follow. Actually, he took what you are asking the question. How are we supporting the local entrepreneurs?
Sure.
The people coming up with as sunscreens, coming up with this, what is this brand that is doing so well now? There's a brand, yellowish in color. It's called, is it even?
Kenyan, a skincare thing.
A skincare thing by two ladies, actually.
Okay.
And it's doing very well, even you see it on billboards. So for them, they started with finance first.
Sure.
Then it's called Kenyan, but it's made in Southern Korea or whatever. That's what we are doing. We're just going and, because we are Kenyan,
Quite lovely.
you make it out there, then you bring it and you say it's Kenyan. But it's doing well.
Sure.
So when our MD realized that, he felt that the way we were very rigid at Linton's.
Sure.
To accommodate the brands, because the way the setup works is Dior will tell you, I do not want my neighbor to be XYZ. I don't want to neighbor an upcoming brand. So we were stuck, we were tied up. So he has come up with something called Beauty Box. And the Beauty Box is actually to encourage the local entrepreneurs. We give a lot of leeway and the space to them. Come up with your brand. Let's see how it works out together. Help us reach out to the clients. Bring your girl there.
Sure.
We'll train them together and see how it works. So we have started.
Wonderful.
And I hear what you're saying.
Then now the next step is to partner with me on the Beauty Box project, so that those that are successful, they get market traction, they do not have to go back to the market to look for capital. And based on the traction data, I can already put a bit of an outlay to help them now go to the 30 shops. And then as soon as they're in the 30 shops and there's moving, then now we can open it up for other people to invest in that, because that for me is the path.
Do you hear that, Michael? Do you hear that, Michael? It was a divine. This was a divine, truly a divine connection.
I agree, but at the same time,
to meet George here.
It comes back to the question I asked.
Yeah.
If God was here, which you've agreed, is always with you. So there's nothing new we've done. We've just emphasized our capabilities and accepted we have the skill. Now because we don't realize that we've got 2 hours. Now we need to be able to go. I want out of this journey, for me, I think it's clear, George, what you need to do. It's clear what Dr. Joyce needs to do and expound. Generally, I'm clear what I need to do. Generally. Most likely.
Clear what
but I think what I want Lucy to do, I want to help Lucy. I want to help Lucy, because Lucy is going to layer on top of what you guys have talked about. And there's something you asked me earlier during breakfast, and we really never got to get into it. You asked the role of education. And you asked me, and earlier we were talking with, remember we were there for breakfast with Elsa and everybody, and the conversation was, why don't you write a book? What don't you do? I said, no, those things have their place. But I think the bridge between that, our experiences, and the book and the training is something I want Lucy to go with, and to go with something, and I'll tell you how all of you guys mentioned, don't realize it. I call it the African Founders Operating System. What is the African Founders Operating System? Larry, you mentioned your brands, your whatever brands you mentioned. We talked about Tom Ford. We talked about whatever. So the lady who built this product and came back to Africa, what is it she has not understood about the African Founders Operating System? And for me, what over the last few interviews we've done, we sort of defined it into a mechanism or to a structure that is broken into 5 parts. And I want us to look at how you guys have mentioned it, and then now start helping Lucy with the joinery to get into the rail. It's a railing, right? Once you build a rail, whatever wagons you put, so long as the rail ends up with the right docking, right leeway, it doesn't matter if you end up Kajiado or Magadis, you'll go and get soda ash, you'll come back to the rails, you go to Mombasa.
Sure.
So what we need to help is build the rails.
Sure.
So what is the African Founders Operating System? It is, for me, I've looked at it in 5 assets. One is mindset. Mindset. What have you guys mentioned?
Sure.
Scarcity. The moment your mind moves from scarcity to abundance, you just mentioned, the day you realize this idea I have, I cannot just harbor it, I need to scale out, is the time you start finally being in the open sea.
Sure.
For success. And that's something Africans need to learn. The scarcity and abundance mentality, especially in this ideation, this innovation game, okay? Because an idea is as good as in your head. Execution is 99%. 1% is ideation, 99% is execution. You, George, have said clearly, this lady said, I'm going to test it on myself, products, herbalist, whatever, this black big witch thing, whatever, eventually it became whatever, but she moved from ideation to execution. So mindset. So I want to think about mindset. What mindset should we change? Dr. Joyce has said, for me to move, my mindset had to change by bringing the next generation. Sure. So your son has done that mindset change because he was not picking coffee and tomatoes and going, that's not what he has got. He ended up in Microsoft, if I remember, Is that correct? So he came and said, Bill Gates can do this. People are building software, there's APIs. I'm in a fashion business. What is happening? So you give him the next platform for mindset change. So the second part is emotional.
Sure.
Emotional means you fear. You're siege under fear. Fear is an emotion. You said you cannot do what is it called? Avocado in Moranga. You can't see yourself in avocado Moranga and
producing that oil.
I cannot. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's a fear. Emotional. Fear. It's emotional. Is that correct? So you said mindset, emotional. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The third pillar, and I'm talking to Lucy here, and I know very many entrepreneurs. And why I'm saying this, George, you've mentioned to Dr. Art, I will fund the beauty box with the founders that are going through that value chain. So you're showing founders how to sell, how to pitch, but you're not showing them these skills. Sure. These founders operating systems are the ones that will sink you. Yeah. Is that correct? True. The next one we talked about is strategic. Strategic is survival projects. You have to think strategic. A lot of stuff you talked about, George, was strategic. True. Do this. Strategic was also Lucy. We ended up doing quick cutting. We did mass. That's a strategic conversation. You looked at the supply chain. Who is best at what? Strategic everybody has. So a lot of papers that we have in the country are strategic. They lack emotional and they lack mindset already. Yeah. So they're strategic papers. Politicians are strategic. They're not emotional. They're emotional to the wrong things. Is that correct? Not to your business, to their votes. Is that correct? So they're not going to move the strategic paper to emotional traction as an entrepreneur. Sure. So the next thing is social. Networks. Social. Is that correct? Social is an important thing. What did you say? You said, bring this ointment, bring this combination, learn it from your grandmother, give it to your sister, give it to your daughter. It's a social thing. Yeah. The social ecosystem and network is so powerful in an African setting. Exactly. What you do in Switzerland, you don't even need to be social to anybody. What? Yeah. You go, patent, move. You don't even need to know. Today I tell people socially, even to buying a laptop, your Macintosh laptop, you have to know the owner of the shop. Yeah. But yet when you go to Paris, you just buy. Why? How can you go to Paris? You just walk through the road like this. Yeah. You just look, Mark. You go and buy. But in Kenya, you say, hey, who owns this Macintosh shop? I don't know the owner. Maybe it's a fake Macintosh. It's a social thing. Yeah. Is that correct? So she overcame the barrier of social by building a brand. Why when you look into Linton's, there is that implied hakuna fake. Hakuna fake, it's trusted. Yeah. So you manage the social barrier. So you also need to understand as you build a business, even the people are going to copy it. Because they'll say now, Lucy Rao, she'll see us. She'll see us. Now the next person is copying you. So just don't worry about Louis Vuitton. They copy them also. But they're still number one brand. But people copy everywhere. Is that correct? And finally, I'm giving it out clarity. Then we're going to run us through this. Finally, spiritual. Survival questions purpose. Okay? Creation affirms it. Sure. You see, spiritually, survival questions like, why am I doing this every day? Like, what's this? Did God build me for this, honestly? I come here, it's like sieving water, or is it what you call, putting fires, water with fire. I don't know what they call it in my traditional way. They say when you just know you're not moving.
Sure.
And you ask, what is God's purpose for me in this whole thing? So those are 5 aspects. So now, Lucy, let's go down. As now we go to the phase, which is very important. How do we have this conversation to create a framework that allows people to start thinking through success and through the journey towards success? And I'm going to go back to it. It was spiritual. Is that correct? Now we can. It was social. It was strategic, which is easy. We say you can get papers and you can get ChatGPT to help you. It was emotional. And finally we said mindset. So now 25 years in this business called that you've done for many years. What are we going to go out with from this conversation, Joyce and George? In those 5 aspects, how can we wind down our conversation to be able to give guys sort of a pathway? Because we've said a lot. Many people may not have the depth to consume all this. Some people may say, the only thing say we're in a desert, and they close the conversation, we're in a desert, and then they close their business and say we're in a desert. Then they say, Akina Mike told me we're in the desert. I said, who told you you'll be in a desert? You understand? So they take things as context. How can we package for the next generation, or the people who are struggling, or the people who are making it, or the people who think have made it, or the people who are importing Bitumba and packaging it? It's okay. It's fine. How can we do it? So over to you. Who wants to go first? I really want Lucy to go through those 5 pillars. Then introspect your business. And your investor is next to you.
Okay. What I've had and what I have been and what we have been doing is, we have been doing something.
A lot.
And we've been doing a lot. And we've been doing a lot. And that a lot has not focused on us personally as either Lucy or as Rialto. Yeah? I don't know whether that is the beginning of the problem or whether that is the problem. Because after you've done a business for some time, and you see that God pushes you in other ways which are beyond you. Yeah? And when you get to this space which is beyond you and beyond your business, then you find that it's a very lonely place. And it's very expensive on emotions. It's very expensive on time. And you also realize that you have certain shortcomings. There are things that you can see. And you can see them so clearly. And you can see where they can head for everybody. But none of these people are seeing it. So you really struggle to make people see. And that journey costs money. Yeah? Money in terms of your time, of the time that you invest.
And emotions.
Money in terms of emotions, like, okay, this thing is so easy. Why are you not seeing it, okay? Even something as simple as, okay, I am a designer, I have a brand, I am self-taught. For you to tell that person, or their parents maybe told them you're the best designer, go to Rialto, you'll sell these things for a lot of money. So they arrive at your place, and you're the one who has to burst their bubble. You know, those are very, very, very heavy things. And then you end up getting maybe not so popular because you tell somebody the truth that their parents should have actually handled in the first place. So what I've heard from George, he has a lot of clarity on so many things, yeah? And just like you said, working backwards, to personally what I'm seeing that this country can be a Singapore from the industry that I am in. And that is just why I am not living it, yeah? Even if I try to live it, you are cheeky. You know, there's this phrase that, ukiwachwa wachika. So this industry is not letting go of me somehow. I'm stuck there. So I'm seeing everybody there using some of these models that we've tested in our own individual spaces. Yes. Yeah? using maybe the younger people who don't have those emotions, that we have, and who don't need to really survive because they can fall back on parents or on everybody else, It's okay when you fail when you're in your 20s, but when you're in your 50, 50, and then you look somehow like you're not going somewhere, that is very dangerous. So we have invested our life, in trying to chase something which is very elusive. It becomes more and more distant as we go there. But the painful thing is we can see where our shortcomings are. It is in the system that you understand so well. It's not even in the money, because there's money. Once your systems are okay, and once you can say this can go to here and can go to here, if technology is brought in, for example, which means that now you don't have to be repetitive, those things that you do every day, that those patterns that have been put somewhere, that have worked so well for everybody over the years, can those things be put in technology form and then distributed at a fee or even free? Because people are wearing very badly stitched clothes here and very badly cut garments. Yet we know, when we see one, we know what is wrong with it. And we have that software in terms of patterns somewhere. So getting hold of your system, because we have that network of designers. We have a platform in terms of any designer, any fashion designer who has been there, who is of my age and has been there for more than 20 years, they will tell you the same story. They have the skills. They have those customers. They have the networks, because their customers are people like you and above, maybe heads of state, maybe PSs or whatever. But there's a little thing that you said there, that burden of
sophistication.
That burden of sophistication. I think that's where all of us are stuck. And somehow, the ones whom we can help can't see it. They can't see it. They are very busy surviving. What are you telling somebody when they want fare for tomorrow, or when they don't, they want just that 500 bob to be able to survive to tomorrow? That's the story of the tailors. And they are very talented, and they are very good.
Mike, please allow me to just interject. I think the thing that I really respect you for is that first, you've established a business that has survived all this volatility and is still offering value. So the question for me is, how does that, the knowledge, the systems, the capacities of that business now realize itself? In the sense that now you should be, I don't like using the word should, because it supposes that I can advise anyone, but there is an opportunity to become a platform. Instead of you becoming a business, their business, you become their platform for other businesses, and then you move from here now to here, and then now your commerce becomes different. And so then the burden of sophistication can be shared amongst all these people that you think are great. And then you give them the opportunities that you have, because you have trust, you have market, you know quality, you have relationships vertically, horizontally, that allow your product to be sustainable, to be appreciated, but they don't. But you do not have their energy, their dispersal, their communities. So then if you become a platform, then now you're able to get a new revenue, a new place,
ease of life.
a new ease of life, so that then the 20-year-old startup is not compared to you, and you're not in any conversation, that everything you've amassed in the last 20 years becomes the value that you move. And so that's the thing that I'm feeling, that
we are already a platform.
Daktari has shared that the limitation of Linton's was its business model. But then they've created an alternative business model that allows the question that you had answered, which is, how do we get more SKUs locally? And that SKU is a sandbox. Pretty much is a sandbox for startups, because you've already said they cannot sit next to L'Oreal.
Yeah.
And so you have to create a little sandbox for them. But there are those that will move from that sandbox and move into the shelves next to L'Oreal,
Exactly.
only because you created the platform. So how can we bring...
And the capital availed by you.
How can we now bring more value into the sandbox so that then there's proper transition? And that's what Mike is saying, the railroad. Because now after a decade of operating in the business, you understand the business, you understand, so you create the rails instead of being the train.
Or trying to be the train.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you now need to move into that rail. And rail means building the platform. Could be you decide, I don't know, I'm not precise, but you could decide, I know how buttons, I know shut buttons, I know different buttons that Joyce has on her dress. I'm sure all our buttons that we have today are different if you have buttons, right? Sure. But then who in Kenya does buttons?
Yeah, I think there's one or two companies which do buttons.
Number two, who does zips?
In Kenya, I think zips is a big problem.
It's all important.
So you
All of it is
understand
important.
zipper for leather, you understand zipper for trousers,
Yes,
you understand zipper for
handbag.
fabric, you understand zipper for nylon, you understand zipper for jeans. Is that correct?
Yes.
Move there.
So what's stopping you from becoming the rail of zippers?
I think that's really great. I mean, which brings me to...
Okay, so that's Lucy now. How about this platform of the Fashion Council? How about the platform for the Pamba Mali? You know, those ones have endless possibilities.
And those is where we need then to say, at the scale, that's why now you need to create advocacy. And that's why we need the capital that dried up, which was based on we were a less developed country. Then we moved into medium term, whatever you call it, we mentioned it. That capital from those councils or from those French or British, whatever, should be directed towards curating that structure.
Sure. And who is the
You get my point?
beneficiary
Not
of
trying
this
to
structure?
remain as, not to let us remain, as you said, optics. In an optics game, you understand? You know, that's
Soft power.
Soft power, you know. What should happen? That capital should be put in those institutions. But the issue is governance.
But if you even move it from impact and you move it to commerce, the person who benefits from that should take a disproportionate cost because you are helping them with something 100%. On their value chain. Safaricom takes more cost on the ecosystem of telecommunication because they're the biggest beneficiary of an efficient system. So then is to link this platform to a user, and that user vertically they moves the cost down. I've been to Germany, France, and I look at who finances their impact work. I realize mostly it's not government, it is corporates. It is a corporate, it's BMW that likes design. So it creates a design atelier.
But it's a tax.
Yeah.
It's written off as a tax
as a tax thing.
Yeah.
So the person who benefits from this platform most should, in one way or another strategically, be the anchor
Remember
investor.
that person is heading to the desert, that beneficiary you had said earlier.
And that's why we are here,
That is
so that
why-
we can be helped by
You know,
Michael and Eva.
This is really
But this is
start from
very-
end
But this is
reality.
a
But also by
discussion.
disseminating
And then-
information,
and then-
Lucy,
yeah.
by disseminating this information,
Sure.
maybe it's 2.5 hours. Maybe it's going to be 2:45. What I believe is
Sure.
in the funnel of viewership, the guys who stick and watch the 2 hours and 40 minutes are the true believers who want change in their lives.
Sure.
Like a guy who would watch a few clips and say, this is my recipe for making it.
Sure.
Is not your person. That one person can remain in the desert.
Sure.
The person who will eventually come out of the desert is the one who's going to say, listening to those guys for 2.5 hours, it was for me the best lesson I've ever learned.
Sure.
I know exactly what I need to do. Because the idea is there, but nobody has ever
Clarified,
generously given it to me without asking me, here's a consultation fee.
Yeah.
All you're being asked to do is listen and learn. Which is why we say the joy will be given to those people who learn, who listen,
Sure.
who take time and say, hey, I get it, I got it, I understood, right? So, and that brings us to the next conversation as we close, the role of AI. AI is here, machine-led AI, pattern design, machine-led AI, fabric design. Is that correct? Mixed Japanese and African design, AI can do. Is that correct? Yes? The role of, so what happens to the creative industry? The other day we were just looking and saying, you know, my son wants to become a DJ also someday. So, there's fascination in that. So I sent them this link. I sent them this link of this song, great song that is trending. The guitars have been done by AI. The vocals are by AI. The music video is by AI.
Sure.
The AI has produced everything in that video better than the production itself.
Sure.
Sasa mimi nasema, how in your industry, how are you guys putting AI into your whole ecosystem? Okay? I don't know about Joyce, but I'm assuming AI plays a key role. I think will play a key role. Luckily, you have a son who is technology oriented.
Yeah.
Because inventory management, all that stuff, AI is going to help you play a very key role. Is that correct?
But also an informed consumer.
Informed consumer. Informed
very
consumer.
informed
I can
consumer.
take a picture and know this product. Is that correct?
Yes,
So
yes.
informed consumer. AI, great. So how is AI, as we close and as we give back to your reflections, how would you think AI is going to disrupt this point of innovation? Or from your point of view, will AI, from what people make people jobless and all kind of propaganda? What's your take on this?
So I'm very optimistic about AI. I'm not in any way anxious. I used to be anxious about AI because I found myself responding from a fear emotion or incentive. But the truth is, every generation has faced a technological pivot. This one seems insidious because it's crossing into our minds. The rest of the technologies were always outside of our bodies, and you have to switch on the TV, lift the phone. But like AI is now crossing into the mind. But from a creative perspective, first I've read enough articles to say that the Armageddon is not tomorrow, neither is it going to be in a year, or like our behavior is not going to be shifted within my lifetime in that Terminator way. I don't think there's a Terminator moment that is going to come. What will happen is the natives, the AI natives, the kids born in the universe of AI, and they have grown up thinking of AI as their second mind, they're the ones who are going to be completely sort of a different generation. The same way, my aunties are on Facebook, but they are not a native of Facebook. But I am a Facebook native. Like, in my mind, marketplaces are not the municipal council market where you go and get a tailor. For me, in my mind, a marketplace is a digital space. So there's going to be an AI kid who today operates with ChatGPT, Claude, and all these functionalities as regular tools. So that person's life I cannot map. But in my time, in my generation, in my reality, it's a very useful tool. And it's a very useful tool, especially for those people who want to perform in the digital environment. So the writer's block is no longer an issue for artists. There are tools that AI can help you, even scenarios, so that the artist who used to make music and wait for 6 months inside their closet, dealing with their depressive episodes, for it to lift, There are tools that AI now intuitively can help you be more productive. There are ways, music mastering. You no longer need to go into a studio for music to be mastered. You can sing on your phone if you dreamt about it in the night or in the shower, and then immediately on your phone master it. And it can go to Spotify, and you add it into your catalog of IP to commercialize it. What the thing is that there's a productivity enhancement. But IP creation is still the office of the artist.
100%.
That has not yet been taken over. Maybe in the next generation, the machine and the individual will share, because the AI mind will be developed enough to take on the creative capacities. What we know now is that they are processing, the processing capacity, the inhibitions, the emotional inefficiencies, all those things that are the limitation of the artist, they can be lifted.
They have gone, yes. Sure.
Yes. In terms of market, the market of art, now that has been shifted. That is a space that has been disrupted. That the wall where you put your art is not the only wall existing. There are virtual walls, there are tokenization models, there are transfer models of how that visual art can exist in multiple forms and carry different capital outlay around it. So now we're talking about NFTs, tradability, your likeness. Let me give you an example. I was in a conference 2-3 weeks ago. Some guy asked me for my address on Instagram, and there was a video that I'd posted just like this, speaking. They used my likeness and my voice, and they prompted their little phone, and they sent me in 3 seconds a video, a full video of me saying things that they put in my mouth. And it was coherent, my hand gestures were coherent, my voice was coherent. They just created, using my likeness, a whole story, and they sent me the video, and the video now belongs to them. So as Mike, you now, using this format, you can create endlessly. You can use these two hours of that we've done to create products, advisories, and you never have to step on the studio again. And your captive audience, if they have there's a firewall, they can come to this and pay this as a premium because you're the one doing this one. This is the gold standard. But those people who are not paying, you can use the algorithmic multiple to put out content. They look at it for free. You get money from the platform. So the platform gives you your CPMs and whatever. So there's a new commerce that's not available that wasn't available previously, that's now going to be available. And because it's a new commerce, we're still testing. So it's not yet a reality for you and I right now, but in another 5 years, that will be the only market. The same way we're talking about a digital market that didn't exist 10 years ago, but now everybody is selling on Facebook. So I love AI because it will make sure your guy in Kisumu who knows a specific little thing, they can commercialize it within the global infrastructure and get some trickle down. What does the artist, the creative, the designer do in that environment? They have to go deeper and now become better at their IP production, their idiosyncrasies, their signatures, their voice. Those becomes the new asset. The things that God gave you before the market asked you to fit in, those become now the new value. And then the inefficiencies in Kenya become just noise because
it gives you a global
platform.
Market. But something you said about cost of sophistication.
Sure.
As you go to Dr. Joyce, I think AI will allow you the cost of sophistication barrier, of the barriers of cost of sophistication are going to be dropped.
Sure.
Significantly.
Sure.
Where you required 5 lawyers to review products, where you wanted to understand if this product is counterfeited, all that stuff. AI, the cost of sophistication You know, imagine you have a great product, like you mentioned about this lady and whatever. Today you can throw in AI and it visualizes for you an ad. So all the products
Even a
you're putting in your
strategy.
all the products you're putting in your product box, beauty box.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any guy can do an ad for 5 minutes. An ad that visualizes. All that stuff is there on Gemini and everything. Is that correct?
Sure.
So where you require a designer or whatever, look at me. I can tell you coming back to this, and you guys have to close this. I would not be able to do this set.
Sure.
In the time I've done, we've built this. This is like my 10th month, 11th month in this business. 11th. Many people tell me it's impossible.
Sure.
You cannot have built Founders Battlefield in 11 months. It is impossible.
Sure.
We have a curriculum, we have production, we are on TV, we are launching online, we have got episodes, concerts, everything.
Sure.
I would not have done it if AI was not helping me.
Actually, let me just get
Get my
there.
point?
The next thing you need to do, my friend, and I don't like
And that one we're taking offline.
this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Products and AI can help you with courses. And if you look at globally, the 3 sectors that are making most money on social media earnings is finance, wellness, and this mind material. Those are the sectors that are doing that. So,
And by the way,
Sure.
one thing is I always tell everybody, go to foundersbattlefield.org.
Sure,
If you go listen and think, okay, everything you said is there. We have Founders Battlefield,
sure,
African Operating System,
sure,
which we are bringing entrepreneurs like Joyce
Sure.
to be part of the trainers.
sure,
So this conversation we're having here, when I think about it,
sure.
we can almost create a platform where tomorrow we should have 600, 700 people as we envisioned. And I'm telling you guys, I'll be calling you in March, April, where we'll have the same creative guys, the guys from your academy. That room will fill with 300 creative people, 400 creative people. So the ones who need to listen to this, maybe their consumption of knowledge in terms of listening to 4 hours or 2 hours of an episode is too much. Maybe they need to be in an environment where they've had two tequilas and they now listen to you better. As you said, they need 2 tequilas. Where they say, oh my God, what George has said, I get it, my friend, that tequila is helping me. So maybe you need to organize a tequila organization for people to assimilate knowledge. Is that correct?
And for Lucy too.
And for Lucy also to see the new generation.
But she's also practiced at these things that she's very good at. For her, that is now her IP. And it doesn't have to go out of her shop as a dress. It can go out as a course. It can go out as a consultation.
Because she can faster do this documentation. You know what is in your mind, Lucy? Today can be put in AI. If you put your mind to it, within 1 month, you would have been able to package a lot of your conversations. Is that correct?
Sure.
The question then is...
Or 11 months. Like
11 months. I think what to do is, as you said, you build a media, without realizing you've built a soft media platform. Is that correct? For which you can monetize or you can take whatever. So coming back to you, so that we can wrap this, first, Lucy, I think Dr. Gikunda is very lucky. She has a generation that has taken over her business that is IT oriented. You're very lucky. Like God loves you.
So
God
much.
loves you.
So much.
Because think about it. The intersection of beauty business and now being run by somebody who's been ex-tech. Just think about that.
But also that she has had more than 2 decades of enjoying the upside of an analog world. So she gets best of both worlds.
And also being molded. I say there's also what you call experiential molding. Molding. So Lucy, over to you guys. Because now we need to wrap this up. What are our takeaways and what are our blessings? Okay. We are not going to stop here. As we said, we will take it up, and the next is going to be live show. So what are your takeaways so that we can...
No, I think before we get there, Michael,
we've refused to end.
George has mentioned.
We've refused to end.
I need to tell you, AI is exciting for the young generation. Very exciting. It is fearful to the older generation. But we do not have to be fearful because we should actually be cheering you on and telling you it's a good thing. Because I'm looking back the decades I started. As I mentioned earlier, the decades I started, there was no Google to check what this product does,
Sure.
what this product is.
Sure.
It was magazines that are outdated, even outdated.
Yes.
Coupled with the little education you got from maybe Nairobi University, whatever. So you had to be intelligent to
Bring them
put
together.
the dots together and combine.
Yes.
So you start a business with a shelf, just one shelf. And that's where we are going back to what Beauty Box, so that we give that entrepreneur, Kenyan entrepreneur, who has produced only 3 products,
Sure.
3 SKUs.
Sure.
They can't fit on a counter because now we have grown from a shelf
Sure.
to a counter to 3 meter counters or 4 meter counters.
Yes.
They can't fill that.
Sure.
So God is using us to go back to have Beauty Box so that if you have 3, we can give you the shelf.
Sure.
You don't have to open a whole shop to do that.
Perfect.
Now, that's for the manufacturers, for the creators.
Sure.
Now, for these other ones we are educating, mentoring. A girl comes from Kisumu, green. She doesn't have finances. She's sponsored to the academy to come and study beauty. I don't want to throw them out there in the field to go and figure out now what they should do. So the platform that has been started also by generation of Dennis, Jessica, and all that is something they are calling Soko. Because Linton's is privileged, or Beauty Box is privileged to bring lower tier brands
Sure.
that are needed in the market.
Sure.
When you bring those lower tier brands, you are able now to tell this student, don't just go and sit at home. You finished your school,
Sure.
you have the education in you. Now, run under Jessica or whoever, some digital. Go through AI techniques and all that of selling. So that you come to Linton's, you come to Beauty Box, get the product with only 2,000. Or without a cent, Soko is supposed to operate and help make that student get into entrepreneurship, into business without a cent.
Sure.
How do they do it? They go to Michael. Michael, what fragrance do you like? Tom Ford.
Sure.
This girl knows Tom Ford is 30,000. And the Soko platform has told her, if you sell to Mike at 30,000, 5,000 is yours.
It's yours.
Over the month, 2 months, 1 year, this girl will have built enough capital
Sure.
through this Soko platform.
Sure.
Because when she orders, we also supply.
Sure.
It's Amazon.
Beauty Box will, yes. That's where all this technology is helping.
Amazing.
You supply. They build capital that will enable them now enter into the into the forum of entrepreneurship.
So basically,
proper
you build for them.
Yes.
Just like George is saying.
Yes.
Your blessings of building 30 stores.
Sure.
Yes.
In those shelves,
Yes.
you've multiplied those stores to 3,000.
3,000.
Yes, to 3,000.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Without
And-
physical stores.
Because the joy of the whole thing, you said the key thing is joy. What brings you joy? What brings us joy is that individual we are mentoring. They actually don't go out there like you find,
Perfect.
oh, I finished university 3 years ago. I have no job, this and that. We are trying to change that mindset. Don't sit at home.
Sure.
There's always something that can be done. We are here to help you to get to the next level.
Next level.
Perfect. Amazing. Amazing.
So the
amazing.
change of mindset, the social, the spiritual, they all tie in together.
strategic, yes.
And I really love the way you put all these topics together because there is an origin, then they flow. To love your neighbor, to bring joy to your neighbor, or to your daughters and your sons are not just those whom you have given birth to. By the way, Michael.
Yeah, great.
For me, I feel that the joy that I have is that child, somebody, neighbor's child, that I've taken through school, that have helped them settle somewhere. And then they are happy. They are raising their families happy. And I was the origin, the seed that brought them to that place. Impact, transformation, and really not being selfish. Those barriers of selfishness and the greed, if it could be broken in so many of us, this country will get to Singapore.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know I have to finish. We have to finish.
Yeah.
But she's really inspired me.
About AI.
She's inspired me.
It's okay.
Because the inspiration for me is that there's always a perception that Africa is corrupt or Kenya is corrupt. And I realized truly that in my interaction with business people, with entrepreneurs, with startups, there's a lot of ethics. There's a lot of ethical business that's happening. I think there's a sliver of the society, maybe politicians and people who are in procurement. There's a tribe within the society that are polarizing with this greed. But the rest of the people that I have had to deal with, and I deal with like 5,000 people a year, they sound and speak like Daktari. People want to do ethical business, they want to do good, and they're even going beyond to help. So Daktari is doing a foundation. Lucy
Doing mentorship.
is doing mentorship, is doing training. We do the same. But the thing that I want to underline is that there is a leadership that's ethical, that's rooted in a practice that dignifies people, and those are the kind of like entrepreneurs that I'm excited to even invest in. How do I bring joy as George? Because capital at every time is usually the boogeyman. People say we don't have enough of it, and if it comes to us, it comes with conditionalities or misalignment, or it doesn't see us. And the burden is always taken to the entrepreneur. You're told the burden of attracting capital is individual. Carry the burden yourself. And so I've gone into countries and in societies where the proposal for $1 billion is usually 2 pages. That's what is read. Look at the pitch decks that come from the African subcontinent. In fact, all of us have gone into courses, thousands of them, of how to create pitch decks. Those pitch decks are, if not exhaustive, but they're also humiliating. And it's the same thing with visas, it's the same thing with applications for loans and all these things. What we have tried to do at HIVA is move the money from HQ, where I sit next to it and call its name, and move it to where the people are. So the last 2-3 years and into 5 years of strategy, we're moving artists, creatives into platforms, so that the platforms can take the risks, the data risks, the logistical risks, all these things on behalf of the startups. Right. And so my push right now is to get as many new people entering creation and productivity into platforms, so that then the platforms create the data. The platforms show the credibility. And so this young person coming saying, I sell 5 shirts every week. I sell 5, what do you call them? Tom Ford perfumes every month. Yeah. That is the data we are going to use to give them lending. And so if you look at HIVA investments for the last 3 years, led by Wakiuru, we've been layering money on all platforms that are aggregating and that are trading, so that that young person or that old person, they can use their trading data to get up to 70% financing secured on that platform without any application to do their next round of business cycle. I'll give you an example. The newest business in town right now is social media influencing. All these kids who are shooting videos of their food and saying, go to this restaurant, and that is a legitimate place. Over 30,000 Kenyans are in that space. But when they do their social media influencing, they take their invoices to the agents. And the agents take those invoices to the to the marketing agencies, and to the client. So by the time their money arrives at their, is 120 days, 90 days, 120 days, they get it probably 5 months later.
Yeah.
So we decided that we are going to create closed loop cycle for them. And so if you're on a platform, if you have a verified invoice, it's registered on that platform. If you supply and they receive and they say that your ads are good and whatever within the platform, that's the off-takers, we give you 90% of your money. We remain to, and we charge you 9%, and if you are a good customer, we charge you 5%.
That's fixed.
Yeah, fixed. And that's how we're making our money on platform. So we're giving joy by moving our money from HQ to the platforms that you're trading on. And this is the future of financing. Even all the banks will need to move their money away from their vaults and bring it closer to the people. You're seeing them in your app. They're telling you you can take a 1 million loan or a 2 million loan on your app. This is what is happening. So we're bringing joy by moving our money, and our money is earmarked for creators at all levels, but through platforms, so that all these sophistication costs are out. Thank you.
Fantastic. See, joy is an interesting connector of people.
And
So we amplify joy.
Especially during Valentine's.
And during Valentine, amplify joy. So thank you. Lucy, so we agreed we are on a joy journey. And you guys are helping achieve the goal, for which I said, God is always with you, right? Or whoever you believe you might is always with you. So thanks for coming. And also as Lucy comes to a point, you guys also have to accept there's also the art of timing.
Sure.
George and I have been on this for 4 months. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 months, maybe 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, I don't know.
Sure.
Daktari, we've been here on 2 months.
Yes.
And Lucy for 1-2 weeks. So you see, it's all about your mind. Maybe you're all waiting for Lucy. You were all waiting for Lucy.
Yeah.
So the day Lucy accepted,
It happened.
the whole thing happened. Because Lucy was not in my journey for 2. But when she asked me something, I said, Lucy requires, because you see, your set of guests that you bring on a show,
Sure.
I never had the topic. You kept asking me, Mike, what's the topic?
Sure.
I kept telling you, relax.
Relax.
I just don't say, I just say, I just cut around until I know. Until I know, I have got the topics already.
Sure.
So I need to figure where. Then she kept asking me, Mike, where are the topics? And our office kept asking, Dr. Joyce is coming, where is the topic?
Sure.
Okay? And then I finally agreed. I just said, it took me like maximum 1 hour. Sure. From my bed to the shower. I did that document after I left the shower. Wow. And I've had a breakfast. I had clarity on Tuesday, is it?
Yes.
I told you we're going to do this topic.
Yes. Thank you.
Because all of us came together at the right time. So, Madam, Lucy,
Yes.
Rao, tell us, as we wind out this session,
Yes.
what's your take?
On AI.
No, on anything. Because when you came yesterday, when you were telling me, Mike, I called you, I tell you, make sure you don't bail.
Yeah, but you said that you talked about how many millions? $10 million.
I told her,
Yes.
I am going to open the gates mentally for you
Yes.
to be able to appreciate that you can attract $10 million in your business.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I told her, come here. It has to start by coming here. If you don't come here, how do you
And she
attract $10
obeyed.
million? True. You can't.
And she's sitting next to someone
this
who's
is
young.
So now you're here.
Yeah.
The world is watching you.
Yeah.
Yes.
The world is asking you, okay, 20 years she has experience. She's molded.
Yeah.
She has been through the fire and the storm. She has the pain. Because the best person to invest in is one who has the pain.
Yes.
Because the person with the pain will most likely make sure they put the money to good use. Is that correct? True. Tell us.
Yes.
As you wind
I
up.
think we are ready. We are ready to receive that money and that investment. It's not, it shouldn't be just money, actually. Those systems that George is talking about, that
platforms,
network,
I told you.
those platforms, they need to be in a certain way for them to be able to be consistent and to be recurring and to be something that doesn't need that painful touch of a founder, So I think the discussion has been very good, and it's looking forward very well. It's looking very good moving forward. And it's limitless, especially with this day and age where technology has brought us. Yeah. And, you know, I know people, Joyce, you are saying you fear AI. I think because of the people whom we mentor and their age, we have had to be inside that AI for a very long time, AI and technology kind of. And to understand that AI and technology can only go up to a point, yeah? And then when you look at creativity and creators, that when you create something, you have to make it into an actual product, yeah? So for the real creators, they don't have any fear. The actual product has to be there for even when there is AI and technology. And I think that's where we are going to make the money. Yeah.
But at the same time,
product, the training, the knowledge, and
by building the
actual
platform that George has challenged you. But next to you here, you got somebody who is telling you, I've got 30 stores. Okay, I'm going to challenge you on one thing.
She
says she's got 30 stores
behind the door.
Yeah, she says she's got 30 stores. Then she said there's a shelf.
Sure.
And I was thinking as she's talking, and then I looked at my cabinet, where I keep your Tom Ford, as you said, or your whatever, Bulgaria, whatever, or Shiva. And I realized the box that I put it in is like a foreign box. I can't remember what brand it is. Very expensive. You know that carry case? You know that thing where you put your beauty box?
Yes.
Huh? And I'm looking at this bead on your face, and I'm thinking, you know, if I had a nice kapleka thing where I put my makeup, my
nice
shaver,
things.
my everything, and I zip it up, built by Rialto Fashions.
Sure.
Okay? Sure. Small product.
With her IP.
Happy. In the shelf of. To put what products?
Tom Ford.
Tom Ford. Is that correct?
Sure. Yes.
You're thinking out of the box.
She has the platform.
Yeah.
She has the product. Sure. You have the stitching capability.
Yeah.
You say zipper. You have a product. So for me, I'm thinking, like, how can we should not live here by saying
Michael,
don't have the product.
Michael, you are on point. Reality is here. She's known Lintons is there for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do we have? They are called beauty bags, beauty boxes, cosmetic bags. We sell imported ones.
Yeah, it's funny.
I challenge you.
But even before she creates,
Yes.
my other investee has them at Yaya. So if she doesn't want to compete,
Yes.
take should I mention names? They're Kenyans already producing these things. And they've recognized that the IP that I have can go into clothes. It can go into fabric. It can go. So the issue is not that to leave your shop, it has to be a dress. It can be a product that can find a platform.
Or a packaging.
Or
a packaging. So she has told you beauty boxes. I just thought about it.
Yes.
Every beauty box I have seen is like $200. How did I pay $200 for this beauty box? Sure. So she has said she leaves her office. So people come and buy products.
We're interconnected.
And if she gives you an LPO, bring it to me. I'll help with your production capital.
Because here you have proved for 20 years you know how to chop.
Yeah.
You know how to
Yes.
She has an LPO.
So that you are able to now come and market it properly at the beauty box. We get marketers, we get girls to push them, we get TikTok. People, you know.
She has the product, she has everything.
It's the best
so what's
forum.
stopping you?
This is the best forum. I'm telling you.
Yes.
The
Thank you so
combination
much,
of these three, I think is the... I'm blown away.
It's God's heart to create and bring people together. Is that correct? So I want to, first of all, I'm sure we're going to have lunch together and we're going to even talk about much more.
Sure.
I want to thank you all for coming and for me, this whole creative industry, I know a few people in creative. I listen to them, I ask them questions and unable to give me clarity. You know, eventually we either get into, I don't get what you're saying or whatever. Is that correct? Kind of conversation. It's really struggled from art to fashion to NGO-driven campaigns.
Sure.
So I always ask myself, what is it I'm not getting in this industry?
Sure.
So today I'm happy. I've sat with you. Finally, I've sat with some person who has explained desert in the way desert I see it.
Sure.
Okay. And sorry.
Final.
And fine. And then I've sat with an entrepreneur who says, I've got 6,500 SKUs.
Sure.
Those SKUs are built by other entrepreneurs seated in Sweden, in Paris, surely, in Africa, in Kenya, in Nairobi, in Mombasa. Some guy seated in Paris decided, or France, I'm going to build this product that removes ashiness. And it's hot. Lintos, is that correct? So for me, I've always wondered how this thing is not gelling. But thanks for you guys bringing clarity. My hope is that the industry, or the people listening, or the people who are going to have the luxury to take this as a lesson and say, I think somebody has aligned there. I think for me.
Sure.
But it couldn't have happened without your knowledge.
Sure.
And you guys being vulnerable enough to want to share.
Thank you.
And Lucy, for you accepting yes, takuja hii kitu.
I'm usually
You're the cause.
you know?
Okay? And your shoes, hata ukisema nitaenda, I'll prove a point, nenda angalia viatu. Mwa vile viatu umefanya hizi viatu very very interesting.
Very interesting.
I hope amefanya zoom kwa viatu akaangalia, umefanya zoom kwa viatu. Angalia hiyo fashion sio?
Na AI haiwezi tengeneza.
That's
my point. AI cannot
yes. And
there's no fear.
And George, for you opening up,
we don't fear.
Exactly. There's nothing to fear. And George, you opening up
nothing.
to people to see capital in the creative sector that people have never really seen creative. They always read money available, fintech, agri-tech. What is the next thing have I seen? It's always fintech, agri-tech, health tech.
Sure.
Nobody creative, hakuna kitu kama hiyo. So you're the only person standing between what we call NGO money.
Sure.
So you're the only build for value, build for long term, not for NGO. So that is also a great situation. Understand?
And
Is
the
that correct?
good thing is he understands it.
And I hope you do that.
There.
I hope you could list that. Maybe your next journey is to list have a fund.
Yes.
Yeah.
To list this as a business, put it in the stock market, such that finally people can start investing. Is that correct? Put more capital into the. Maybe I need to challenge you to put it in the stock market, because then which other fund is going to be there that does this? Is that correct?
Sure.
So I want to thank you for your time. I know you guys can't believe we've gone to 3 hours sharp.
3 hours.
Again, I've always said this is very complex. And you guys still, if you're not protected, then
We could do another hour.
yeah, we'll be, and I can see my friend Austin is telling me, Masharia, you.
Time.
Okay, so I want to thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm really, really hoping that, and seeing the passion and the amount of knowledge that that we have in this. Every month we have what we call Arena Live. It's a live platform where we bring 500 people live on a Tuesday from 6 to 10. And my hope is that 45-50% of the audience are people you guys are mentoring, like people who need that spark.
Sure.
So they listen to the passion and conviction in which you have.
Yeah.
You understand?
Sure.
We finance part of them to come to the show. It's 2,000 bob. 2,000 bob ever fund. You feel sponsor 50, 100, 10,000. You sponsor it's 50. So we can fill the room with 400,000. But the knowledge in which we infuse and the connection between them is what is going to change the country.
Sure.
So I want to thank you and see you on Tuesday for this event, right?
Thank you.
Asante, we want to wrap up, and thanks for watching. And these amazing people, I'm going to convince them, I can bet you, to come for the live event in the month of April, post-Easter. It will give them time to have to be on the stage 4 hours. You see, 3 hours is nothing. So talking from legacy, internal chaos, we talked about internal chaos, external chaos, we talked about external chaos, we then talked about mind and emotion, we then talked about legacy, we talked about philosophy and identity, we talked about foundation. If you look at Dr. Joyce, she's talking about philosophy and identity. The identity of her life is Linton's. That she hands over. Legacy. Then there is those people, mind and emotion. You're still trying to fight between mind and emotion. Then there's internal chaos. You have internal chaos, then you have external chaos. Is that correct? So we need to be in the podium explaining to people how to deal with these facets, right? Asante sana, and God bless you. Enjoy watching. Thank you.